Okay. Now go. We're gonna go 1, 2, and then on 3, press the button. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now, just in case, we're gonna clap it in.
Yep.
Okay. On 3 again. Just a little fucking tappity tap.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that was pretty good. I watched you, so we should be fine. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This shall be interesting. I guess welcome to another classy stranger commentary, host said commentary, first class horror. We're kind of joined by the hip now.
Yeah, I know, right? I was gonna say it feels like we're doing this every week, but we kind of are doing it every week,
Yeah, I know it's true.
which I don't hate.
And no, it's exciting because for all the people that are interested and we're debating on where this is going to go, is it going to be for Patreon? Is it going to be for Class Horrorcast's main show? We're fumbling around with a bunch of ideas. So we have a lot of stuff in the works when it comes to me, Tomcat, aka Tom Thompson, the Reptilian from Strange Brew Podcast, and Aaron, the Horror Boy from Class Horrorcast.
The horror boy, I like that one.
You
I,
made that up. We were joking about your aliases.
I always seem to, but like I said in that episode, I always seem to get like the worst nicknames. Like, I was for anybody who doesn't know, I teach jujitsu on the side for the last couple of years, and I had been in New York for like 2 or 3 weeks on holidays with family, and when I came back, like I was like falling behind badly in training, just like no cardio,
Yep.
just like completely dying because all I had done was like eat fast food and drink for basically 3 weeks straight, and everybody was like, "That's all the hot dogs you were eating in New York," and like trying to make fun of that, and just kept saying it over and over again. So now I've got the nickname in the gym, Hot Dogs.
That's fucking funny.
Which is like,
Do you not have hot dogs in Ireland?
no, we do, but like they were like trying to take off an American accent, like a New York accent, and being like, "Oh, it's all the hot dogs."
We
man.
still got to get you to do the Canadian accent sometime on the fucking show, or
I-
what you think it is.
I need to actually listen to
Maybe for the Halloween
that's actually a
special,
good idea.
like for the live special, because then Billy can meet you and shit like that, and can have a lot of fun with that. Which everybody, right? For everybody tuning in, hopefully we can maybe stream it to both of our YouTubes, but it'll be on Stranger Podcast YouTube. I might even try to throw it to Instagram. We're gonna see what happens or what I can add. But we're gonna do a Halloween live on October 28th, 6:30 Eastern time. So that's pretty late for people in the UK, but you can always catch it the next day. But if you want to stay up and get drunk and have a little fun,
I might already be shit faced at that point.
I know. Well, it'll be fine because I'm definitely gonna get drunk, or I'm gonna be on mushrooms, or something's gonna happen. I took a microdose for this episode. I have a little vodka water just to get the gears turning. So everybody though, you want to go to look up on YouTube Halloween. We'll post the link in the description. Like, we'll make sure we do that. It's totally free, and it seems to be like an extended version because every other one we're looking at was an hour and 45. Just strange.
Yeah, I don't understand. Again, it's just like, I think Rob Zombie's time with the Halloween franchise was just like so fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure. And this will be interesting because this is not a movie that's reviewed well whatsoever.
I haven't seen this in such a long time.
I haven't seen it either, and I just skimmed through the Rob Zombie's original Halloween, which has its good points and its bad points. But he gave us what his vision was. You can't knock it because it's his vision. It's not John Carpenter's shit. It's nobody else's shit. It's Rob Zombie. And this will I guess we should release this before we do Rob Zombie Part 2.
Yeah, I would imagine so. And also
so much stuff coming for both of us.
On a side note of Rob Zombie, before we get this movie started, I haven't seen too many great things about the monsters.
Oh, really? Already? Do you want to do a commentary on it and literally watch it with fresh eyes? Because you can't get in the UK, but even if we do that this week or next week, I can get it in Canada and I can stream it to you over Discord.
That's something I would love to do that because
We should do it. Fresh pair of eyes. Let's just see what the
I
fuck happened.
I've seen I've seen so many different critic reviews and like now I normally take that stuff with a grain of salt, especially when it comes to somebody like Rob Zombie, but I've even seen people who were like, I'm a lifelong fan and this was absolutely terrible.
Oh, I
Um
was disappointed. The way the camera and the filming looked weird, but you know what? We keep shitting on things, and I'm sure we're gonna shit on this because once you see it, when you're actually paying attention and watching for the weird things that maybe is added to certain movies, or you start catching things that maybe you didn't watch your first, second, or third time around. But once you're in it with somebody, like looking for those little things, it probably is. It's a lot worse than you think it is.
yeah, yeah.
But I think that would be a good idea. That's why you said you couldn't find the UK. If they're saying it's in North America, I should be able to even rent it, and then I can set it up so then you're able to watch it with me. We can literally record it the very first time we watched it together, which should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. I'm nearly
Even for
sure
when if we post it down the road.
it's on Netflix in Canada as well. I think you guys and the States are the only two places on the planet that got it today.
That's crazy. That's so weird. But movies always come here first. Here, I'm quickly going to. We're going to start. So everyone, we'll have we will have the link for this. It's free on YouTube. It seems like an extended version, and essentially we'll do what we usually do. When you hear me say the word three, the number three, everybody press play, and you'll have the timer counting down, also or counting up or whatever. Let
Either
me
or,
look this
whichever.
up. Monsters.
Um, yeah,
Mummy.
I'm kind of interested to watch this as well. I haven't seen it in a long, long time. I actually enjoyed Rob Zombie's first Halloween, so
It's not on Netflix in Canada yet.
oh wow.
No, that's interesting. Also, another commentary that I think we should do, considering the Dahmer show just came out, is have you ever seen My Friend Dahmer?
Mm-mm.
What, you've never seen it? It's actually really I really enjoy that flick. It's just based on Jeffrey Dahmer when he was younger, up until he's about to murder somebody, essentially. So I thought about that the other night. I want to rewatch it now that I'm watching this show Dahmer, which I don't know if you guys even have yet, but it should be because it's a Netflix original.
Yeah, no, we've got that.
It's
Every,
it's pretty fucked up, and it goes very deep in detail.
everybody's talking about that right now.
Yeah, it's just funny because I did an episode and was in a Dahmer way before they started doing this shit.
Do you know, right? And this has happened to me, and without trying to sound like, oh, I'm so great or I'm so like ahead
Yeah,
of the
yeah, I agree.
times. The amount of things that I flick on Netflix or somebody I know or like whether it be my girl or somebody will be like, oh my god, did you hear this true crime thing? There's like this new thing on Netflix, and I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I remember looking at this like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know. A lot of stuff like the Jimmy Savile shit. It's like
Yeah,
I knew about this shit when David Icke was yelling at me. All right, like I knew about all this crap beforehand. There's a lot of stuff in the works. Um, Me and Aaron could literally talk about anything all day, every day. So we should just get into it. Everyone get their movie set up. If you haven't yet, pause. You can stream, put it in most TVs now, or PlayStations or whatever you have. You can literally set it up on your TV so you can have it ready to go. I buy and watch a lot of movies on YouTube, so it's something that's very easy because it's just digital and you can get it anywhere you go.
yeah.
So we'll put the link in, but if someone somehow doesn't get the link, you just literally search up Halloween 2009, and it's by Jose Rodriguez, Jose Rodriguez, like Jose, but with it, Jose.
Not sure how this escaped the algorithm, but it
I
did.
know it's so strange. All right, so everybody get yourselves ready. You ready, Aaron?
Yep.
Okay, when I say the number three, everybody press play. 1, 2, 3. Commence. All right, this should be interesting. Oh wait, I'm gonna throw you on my. How I do that? Can I move? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm interested. This will be. All right. Everyone keep watching. My dog is driving me fucking nuts. He's eating my toys. He's getting sent out of the room. Come here.
For uh,
Come here.
for anybody who's listening right now, Tom is trying to shoo his dog out of the room, and I think he said that he was chewing on like some of his stuff. And I know that if that was me, I probably would kill my dog. I'd probably stomp him to death or stab him to death or do some crazy shit and sacrifice him. Because I would freak if my dog was chewing up my shit.
I have a psycho little dog. My door doesn't close, so I just like literally stack things in front of it.
What was he doing?
He's just like biting my toes and shit. He's just like this fucking little monster. Like I have a carpet underneath me. And he just fucking digs it.
Oh, I thought you said something else there. I thought he was chewing up like some of like like the shit you have
Oh,
behind you, like the Chucky doll and
no.
stuff.
I'd be pissed. He
That's
doesn't
what I
do
was
that.
just saying. I was like, I think
What the fuck?
actually, yeah, this is terrible. The fact that it's a different kid.
That's not the kid from
Yeah,
fucking. Isn't he from Even Stevens or something?
I forgot about this, and this is like already starting me off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, you can't have another kid play, especially on a big time flick. I get if it's a shitty show or something. This is 15 years later. So obviously, people, if you've never seen Rob Zombie's version, the first Halloween, watch that first, and then tune into this.
Yeah, and also, I'd probably go as far as to say, even when you do watch the first one and then come and listen to this and watch the movie alongside it, it'll still probably make very little sense.
Yeah, I haven't seen this in a long time.
Because from what I remember, this movie is even more all over the place than the first one.
And I would think because it should be out before this. Check out our Rob Zombie episode once you've watched the Rob Zombie first Halloween, because it will be worth it, and you'll hear our opinions before we get into this one.
And what's really interesting to me, and we talked about it in the Rob Zombie episode. He talks about his experience making the first Halloween, and
Yeah.
he didn't want to return for a sequel, and then just like the way everything happened, he ended up actually coming back to do the sequel, and it's crazy
Yeah.
because this I think ended up more fucked up.
Yeah,
than the
because he
first
kept saying he didn't want to do something. Then he said he was going to, and then like he went. And I like Rob Zombie for who he is, but he says a lot of shit and then says some other shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I
he
don't
kind
know.
of contradicts himself in
Yeah,
some things.
yeah, and I don't know, like I can't help but feel like that he must have came away from this one going like, oh my god,
What did I do?
I can't believe I fell for it a second time, and it was actually worse than the first time round.
Yeah, and it's like they must have gave him big money to put his even name on it, even if he wasn't writing it or producing it.
So this scene here that we're seeing where she's being rushed into the hospital and they're gonna like operate on her and try and save her or whatever. There's a guy. I don't know if it's the doctor that's like operating on her or whatever, but he's an actual doctor, and he was they brought in like an actual working surgeon as like an advisor, so that he could instruct like the makeup department of like, okay, they would look after this wound first. This is what this would look like.
Oh,
This
that's
is what they
actually
would
fairly
do.
interesting because
And
she's all sorts of fucked up.
yeah, and somehow he said the guy managed to like work his way into having the most dialogue, and he wasn't there for a part. He was just there as an advisor, and he ended up being in the scene.
That's so funny. That shit's brutal. And my mom used to be like a emergency nurse. What's that called? An NR or whatever.
Oh
In
God,
the Toronto emergency room, like she was there for a lot of her early nursing, and she said she's seen fucked up shit.
that would not be for me.
No, like people like overdosing, shot, especially in Toronto. Toronto is a bad city,
Like that's
especially if you're
probably
dealing with the most fucked up stuff happening.
yeah, like that's probably got to be one of the like most underrated like scary and fucked up jobs. Like people don't really talk about that, but
No,
like the shit that you probably see day in day out in an
you have
emergency
to
department.
desensitize yourself. And there's like nurses that have talked about like, there's like a guy and he's in a coma and they keep looking at his dick because he has a massive dick. and they like there's like a story about this that's real, and they just keep showing all the other nurses, but it's because they get bored within their job, right?
That's so fucking wild.
So and it's like dark humor, how we do dark humor on Strange View podcast. It's kind of the same thing. How it's just like you're so desensitized by, we talk about serial killers and murderers a bunch of times, and still will continue to talk about it. And you kind of got to make light of those very fucked up dark situations.
This scene, I actually forgot how like fucked up that scene is where they're like fixing her up.
Yeah, she looked beat up, like her eyes all fucking bloodshot, and there's cuts all over her face.
Like they're like her nails are all hanging off from I think grabbing on the
Yeah.
wall, and you see the nails bend back, and they're like
Oh, that's fucked.
pulling her nails off with like a tweezers.
Eh.
This dude
And
here, the old guy, I always remember
yeah,
him as fucking Unser out of Sons of Anarchy.
see, I never watched that show.
Only role I remember in him. I remember him in ever.
And it is weird that he essentially redid John Carpenter's vision, and then he kind of redid John Carpenter's vision for the second Halloween also. It's like he didn't take in his own direction. He did, but didn't.
And it's funny because even when you hear him talk about it today, he keeps saying, "Oh yeah, no, this was great coming into the sequel because it was a complete like there was no rules, there was no boundaries. It was a sequel to my own version of Halloween, so we had no
But
connection."
your own version is based on John Carpenter's version
He seems to
because
think
you
it's
have all the
not,
same characters.
which is
It's
kind of weird.
if you watch it, other
Yeah.
than the whole fucking too long background story that they add into Michael's, it it had to happen, I think. But I'm freezing. It's gonna be a sec. There. Oh man, it's just like I don't know. He's got an interesting mind. It's just like you still took something that John Carpenter created
Yeah, he did. I
and
don't
then
know whether
tweaked
it's
it.
just like maybe the way he works or whatever, and he just kind of feels like he can't say he used anything else as inspiration. He
I
wants
know.
to be like so creative. Um, I actually
Oh
I
fuck!
rewatched Tree from Hell the other night again. What a
I
movie!
love that movie.
Yeah, what a movie. That dude in the passenger seat there is the guy who plays fucking the brother, right?
Oh shit! I just realized that they fucking got fucked up. His jaw smashing it, and obviously, Rob Zombie is one for gore, right? That
Yeah.
whole like just gory, brutal violence.
Now,
Yeah,
I
that is
will
him.
say I do kind of like that. I don't like if it goes like over the top, like
Yeah.
pointless. But like I feel like that, you know what, like for what it is, it's done quite like tastefully here in the sense that I mean I would imagine if a chick somehow survived an attack from Michael Myers,
How it would look.
she would probably look like she did there a minute ago.
Yeah, yeah. That it's like even in this scene, oh, it's gross. But like, how would you feel if you literally got into one of the worst car accidents, smashing into a deer, a cow, or something like that? You wouldn't know what to think. Your fucking brain would be all mishmashed because you hit so hard. I have to say, like, whatever we end up coming to the conclusion of this film and what we've said on the Rob Zombie episode about Rob Zombie's Halloween, when it's his own creation, like Devil's Rejects, like Three from Hell and House of Thousand Corpses and stuff like that, and it's not taking something from somebody else, it is genuinely good in his own style.
Yeah,
That's why I think Monsters might be bad because he's taking something from someone else and then trying to do his own thing.
I like I really don't want it to be bad,
I know, but
but
we'll see when we. I think we should watch it together.
I think that's a really good idea. I think it makes for good content as well.
Because it'll be the first viewing. We'll be like, oh fuck.
I remember the first time I saw this scene actually, I thought it was
When he
done quite
bangs out the door.
yeah, like I thought it was done quite well in like kind of building the tension. I was like, imagine if
Mhm.
you were that dude stuck in the front of that fucking thing.
Yeah. And Michael's not gonna help you.
Why do they always leave the fucking mask on?
I know. In like so many films where they try to take it off and like, no, we'll just leave it. It'd be a brutal way to die, but I'd be like, just kill me quick because I'm gonna probably bleed out anyway. It's like
Oh
saucy,
my
that brutal,
fucking
like
hell.
cut in the neck. Ugh. And you see, I know it's fake, but if that was real, I'd be probably throwing up and like feeling queasy. He did a good job in Three from Hell, though. That actor, I liked him as the
Yeah,
brother.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I thought the only the only thing I think I didn't like about Three from Hell, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's a
yeah.
brilliant addition to that franchise or whatever you want to call it. Um, the only thing that I didn't really like was the scenes with Captain Spaulding in it.
Yeah,
Like
just
part of me
sad.
feels, yeah, like part of me is like, would it have been just better to be like, oh yeah, you know, like he's like he was like killed or something already? Like it just looks so grim. Like it is literally like they've got well, and it
I know he's
is,
on his deathbed.
yeah, like he's like what weeks away from death.
Hmm.
I don't know,
I
it's just
didn't
really
like that.
grim.
I didn't like that scene that they just showed. The fucking horse and the what? Like what?
And
Why?
yeah, and this was something that always sticks out in my mind whenever anyone mentions this movie. I always think of that, and I'm like,
I forgot about that
yeah, I was
scene. Like
like,
why?
oh, wasn't that like some shit thing that they done? And I think he said he was driving to set one day, and he saw a white horse in a field running, and he thought it was an
He's like
amazing.
Michael would like to see that.
Yeah, he thought it was a great visual, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna put that in the movie. I was like,
It's
okay, you're getting a
nonsense
bit
though, because it
fired up.
doesn't add to the story. Like it's so weird how he like conceptually created some of these things when like is what I say, when he gets his hands on a remake essentially in his own vision, it's not as good as his own creation.
Yeah,
Because he feels like he has to follow some sort of border. Because essentially you're taking a traced picture and you're filling it in with color. That's how I would describe it. You know what I mean?
yeah. And sometimes I feel like he purposely goes outside of the lines to try and be like,
I'm different.
yeah, and
Look
it
at
like
Michael loves white horses and his mother.
for me when it's
Like that's
when it's
it's
forced
weird.
like that for me, I'm like, ugh,
But like Michael's a psychotic maniac. He's not like Jason where it's like, "Mommy," like wanting
yeah,
his
yeah,
mom
yeah.
and like in which I would love to talk about some Friday 13th stuff down the road. For like 100% love Friday 13th. All of them have their own fucking merit for what they
And
are.
I what I would really
Not
like to
Jason Hell
do,
goes to hell though. Fuck that film.
what I would really like to do is a commentary on the 2009 remake.
Also really enjoy that one.
Same,
I
same
really
as,
enjoy it. I thought
same
it was,
as.
after I watched it, like I think a second or third time viewing, I was like, this is so much better than I thought it was. And they have like
Mm-hmm.
decent actors.
Yep,
Where that's I feel like the issue with the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street is they use shitty actors. Whereas the remake of Friday the 13th, they use some people that you knew of.
yep.
And like the one guy that plays like the brother looking for his sister, like we should definitely do a commentary on that because I genuinely actually do like that film.
Have you
I just don't like Jason's skinny head.
It's a bit weird looking, isn't it?
It's like it's skinny little head on his big
Um,
ass body.
have you have you seen those Don't Hike Alone?
No,
Oh dude, that's something we should do commentaries on. They're actually on YouTube, but they're like fully produced. Like this dude, um
I've heard of them actually. Now, yeah, think about
yeah,
it.
he like crowdfunded or kickstarted or whatever for them and like raised like hundreds and hundreds of thousands and shot these there's Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, I think, and
I've
Never
heard. Yeah,
Never Hike Alone
are they
2 or something
short?
like
They're
that.
shorter,
They're
right?
about 45 minutes, but they are fucking amazing. Like he gets characters from the old sequels and stuff and like
What?
ties them back in somehow, and like it's really well shot. The cinematography is amazing.
I feel like I've heard about that and people talking about it. Oh fuck! So everyone's gone and it's like the night shift, and then Michael's already back at the hospital.
I always liked this scene, I think.
I'm like, get away from me, lady.
That's Octavia Spencer, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I like her as an actress.
I know, yeah.
She played in that movie Mama, and I never watched it. It looked weird.
I've watched it like two or three times. The first time I thought I liked it, and then I watched it two times since then, and I was like, wow, this is fucking terrible.
I That's why I chose not to watch it. I was like, I like slasher films, but not when some fucking mother. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
weird. Like
Um
Friday 13th is good, but not. I don't know.
it's really hard for me to look at that when like it's like if you had like Big Mama in a horror
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like fucking Big Mama's House Part 2, fucking
Yeah, and it's just it didn't. I don't know. It didn't work for me.
Norbert's Revenge. It's like all of Eddie Murphy's movies. And this is I don't like that. Okay, I can't lie. I don't like that he's like ah,
Mm,
ah.
yeah,
Like that's fucking weird. I don't know. It's just so strange because I feel like he took Michael Myers and turned him into something that he wasn't. I don't know.
you see, I kind of dug it. I like that.
That's
Um,
fucked. Yeah.
I kind of dug the first one and a lot of what he done.
Yeah.
But in this
Yeah.
one, like
Yeah. I
I feel like
agree.
he just like took way too many liberties, and I was like, okay, Rob, slow down a bit, slow down.
I just don't like you don't you hear Michael breathing throughout like John Carpenter's versions, and that's really about it. Other than him maybe struggling, but it's so you can't really tell. And I get that he would just be fucking angry as hell. I don't really know why he's like constantly just needs to kill. It doesn't really explain it as well as I think Rob wanted it to be explained. Like he's just a crazy kid. So I've seen I've seen kids go through almost like the same shit that he showed that Michael went through in the first version, and they turned out fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like that's what made Michael, and that's what people talk about as a critique is what makes Michael Myers scary is you don't know why he is that way. Like, I remember watching the first time. I was like, weird when he grunts. I thought that was like very loud, and I was like, I thought that was a little weird.
and something I've seen a lot of people talk about as well in Rob Zombie's Halloween's is how big Michael Myers is compared to what we would usually imagine him as,
Yeah, he's so tall. Yeah,
which I actually don't mind so much. It's all the other shit that I
no,
don't really like you said, like him making noises and the thing where like we see his face and stuff. I just don't
and
want
what? Yeah, and I'm
any of
sure
that.
why people critique it, right, is because people love Michael Myers, right? It's been in our social subconsciousness in in
Hmm.
cinema for fucking what? It's got to be like 40, 50 years now. Like so people have like an opinion on it where if you create something that's fresh and new from say a mind like Rob Zombie, they don't have anything else to look at it from. That's fucked.
Yeah,
Is that all the people he killed?
yeah,
What?
yeah.
How
It's
did he kill that
wild.
many people? Or is that
Again,
the morgue?
now that's a Rob Zombie visual if I ever seen one.
Yeah.
For anyone who
It's weird the
is
direction of this film. Just like I just sorry, but like just how they bring it in very fast, very fast.
and it's strange because the movie is what, like, an hour 45. It's like, oof, this is
Yeah,
an awfully fast start to keep this up for nearly two
I
hours.
agree. I don't remember this really at all. It's been a couple years, I think.
Is this
I
where
always feel like I
she
revisit the first one, but
does she like go outside and like hide in a security guard's like little
it's just like
room
her
thing?
boot and shit. Like this would suck, man. I don't remember. I feel like she does because she has to
Yeah,
hide to get away from. I
yeah,
remember that. Yeah,
yeah. I actually don't mind this scene. I kind of like this scene, and I feel like they made it quite terrifying from her
yeah.
point of view.
Yeah, and we're not gonna shit on every film that we commentate, just so people know. We're just gonna give you a genuine, like a genuine idea of what we kind of think and our thought processes on this, because it sounds like both of us, especially like when I grew up, I wanted to be a filmmaker. If I didn't fuck up my teenage years of being a psychotic fucking kid in and out of jail and shit, I wanted to be a director. Like that was my whole thing. I wanted to write and produce movies before I even got into hip hop or podcasting or anything.
Likewise, and it's something that uh, I still probably have a little bit of an itch for. I'm like, I'd love to even just
Oh, I
make like a
could, yeah,
short film,
yeah.
something, anything.
Hopefully one day we can connect. Me and Anton talked about doing short films, even 20-minute YouTube things and seeing how they pick up. Because I and even Anton agreed that I can come up with some crazy ideas and so can he, because if you listen back to certain episodes on Strange Brew podcast, I create all the skits. So we did an episode on the strange mysteries of the Civil War, and the skit at the beginning, I wrote the whole thing myself, and then Anton added his finesse on it,
Hmm.
but I write all those fucking little shorts And we could even do that for certain episodes we do. It's fairly fun too.
It's something I would love to do. I would love to like you said, start on YouTube and do some shorts and
Let's see
see
what
how they go.
happens.
Yeah.
Because honestly, you never know. There's people that become writers, directors, anything, even musicians when they're sometimes in their 40s and 50s, and then people love that shit.
David Sandberg, he's a Swedish filmmaker. He put up a horror short on YouTube about 6 or 7 years ago called Lights Out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that ended up, it got like, it was, I think it was on YouTube for like a long time. And, it had like maybe thousands, couple of thousands, maybe 100,000 views. And then somewhere somebody saw it or somebody mentioned it on a YouTube channel or something like that. And this thing picked up and like had like 5-6 million views. And
That's
he
cool.
actually ended up getting signed. He sold the rights to, I can't remember what company it was, and like they made it into a feature length film called Lights Out, and he directed it
Yeah.
and wrote the script. And
I
since
know it. I know of the film. I don't think I've seen it though.
yeah, like since then he's gone on to do trying to think now off the top of my head.
That's why you never. Okay, you never know. The guy that he's off I know he's off a bunch of stuff, but there's something specific I remember from my childhood of this fat mustached man is from.
Was he in the end of one of the Jackass movies?
No, that's fucking that's Rip Torn or whatever, not Rip Torn. The guy that waves the stupid thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's somebody else.
that looks
This guy's
exactly
from
like
some
him.
stuff. It does look like him. I was like, can I pull up the cast? And like that's what I'm saying. People don't give up your drive and your ambition because you never know. And I think this woke culture bitch shit, this woke culture shit is gonna fucking end eventually. Like I don't know how this can carry on forever because people are getting upset. Everyone that I know doesn't like it. It's a fucking very
And
small population that gets offended.
like this was my thinking was how far can the woke culture go till like
There's
being
nothing left.
yeah to like being woke is an issue or being sensitive to everything is an issue. Like it
Yeah.
never stops if you keep going with that literally never stops.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that dude when he made
Buddy, she doesn't even know him. And she's like, shit. This old man was nice, man.
when um when he made Lights Out, the year after that he directed Annabelle Creation. He done the Shazam
I
movie.
feel like that's okay. My brother loves the Annabelle movies.
Yeah, they're not bad.
I like the first one. Generally, the first one did freak me out, and I thought the little jump scares because I'm really into the paranormal, and I've seen my own fucked up shit. And he like knows she's in there. So the fat man that just got murdered, he was on Casino. He was on Deuce Bigelow, Office Space. He's on tons of stuff actually. There's like a bunch of things that I feel like I remember him from. Office Space is a fucking hilarious film. Some of the cast. I actually love that song when I'm on mushrooms. It's funny when I on psilocybin, I go back in time. I'm like I really dig the '60s music and '70s shit because I feel like they were all on acid anyway. Like I never listened to Pink Floyd. Never have liked Pink Floyd. And the one time I listened to what not the wall, but there's a music video that specifically looks like an acid trip, and I watched it on mushrooms, and I was like, whoa, I get why people like Pink Floyd now.
Um, like every time I think about being on a mushroom trip and stuff like that, like visuals, like stuff from Tree from Hell and things come into my head, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to be just like a free spirit and just like fucked up and just do whatever and just like roam
Yeah.
around.
Oh my god, the scene's brutal. Oh, what the fuck? That's crazy. I forgot that she was dreaming the entire time.
And you see, right, a lot of
Ah,
times,
fucking
yeah, a lot of times I don't have a problem with that, but they went in so deep with that like
yeah.
I feel like it's hard to pull back out of it after spending what like 20 minutes on a scene and then go, nah, none of that happened. That was a dream.
That was yeah. Why add that in then? You know what I mean? Like
It's like,
other than to show that she's been traumatized from this.
and you could have shown that in like a 2-3 minute clip.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of things in certain movies where I'm like, why? I wouldn't have done
So
it this way.
what was it? It was 15 years later, and now it's two
Yeah,
years later.
two
So
years later from 15. So
so is
she's
it
out of the hospital.
17 years later?
Yeah, and now she's a super emo goth fucking chick. Alice Cooper
Like
fucking
drawing
posters
shit all
everywhere.
over the walls and like,
Yeah. Do you see on the related? There's a Halloween 3 CNT Film Studios fan film, and it's an hour and 20 minutes. That honestly, I might fucking. If you would ever be interested, 3 years ago, it's got 3.1 million views. It's
how
from
have I not
2019. That
how have I
be
never
actually
heard
kind
of
of
this?
interesting.
There's a chick I used to have
A
a
crush
crush
on.
on, Danielle Harris.
Is that her?
Yeah, she has a podcast with one of the other chicks that were in these movies called Talk
Oh,
Scary to
where
Me. And like they
was she
talk
in a lot
about,
of horror films? Let
yeah,
me look at.
yeah. Those two
Oh,
chicks,
yeah.
those two have a podcast now called Talk Scary to Me. And it's actually really good. Like they talk about movies and like what it's like to
I
be in the
like the name.
business.
It's kind of dirty.
But then, yeah, but then they also talk about loads of dirty shit. And like
Is she
they're,
Jamie from
yeah,
Halloween? Oh, I've heard about that. That she's like super into horror stuff because she was, and she like goes to like Comic Con stuff and shit like that, right?
yeah, she's got big fat tits and
Uh, I can see, yeah, I can see her as a fucking kid now, because I can see her
oh,
face
that's not
in the little
where I was
Jamie.
going with that.
Yeah, I know it's fucking weird. And just because like as soon as I saw her face like close up, I was like, oh, I see it, like from the like 3 and 4 or the 4 and 5, whatever. Was she from the original one and she survived? Because why does she have scars?
Uh,
No, she wasn't. Her friend got all murdered. Everyone got murdered.
she's pretty she's pretty hot now, like all these years later. The one who plays Laurie or whatever.
I gotta look her up. I'm looking up the cast just to get an idea. It's funny how sometimes age makes people better looking.
Yeah, because normally, no offense to any females listening, but normally
No.
women age like milk.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you into Necro and Mr. Hyde because um, you should definitely try to get. I would love to have Necro on the show. I've had Mr. Hyde on the show, but one of Necro's line is when women get old, they start rotting, and when men get old, they blossom, or something like that.
I mean,
It's like,
and I'm not even saying that like I'm not trying to be like some sort of like sexist pig, but like
yeah,
it, I think aging doesn't do women any favors, whereas men can kind of get away with it.
yeah, and not saying that I've honestly, to be honest, if women are listening to this, I've had a thing for milfs my entire life. It like I think some older women can be very sexy even if they may not to other people. That's weird, but oh my god, I was like so stupid. I looked up Daniel Harris nude, and it's like all this fucking
I
shit
think I might
popped
have
up,
looked at
like
that the other day, actually. You know,
her tits. Oh, what the fuck is this? If I could screen share you, this disgusting thing just popped up, and I don't know what the fuck that's about. Oh my god. Don't Google things sometimes, people. Like this gross ass weird looking vagina. Fucking oh my god. Why did I Google this?
how how did you get to that?
I just Googled the Daniel Harris nude and then I scrolled down and there's some disgusting fucking shit. I wonder if our Google's set up differently because we're in different parts of the world.
I'm assuming it's not her.
No, 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 no. It's just something that somehow came up with the YouTube search and it looks disgusting. Because it's a black woman's vagina.
Her character in this movie is actually really fucking annoying for me.
Would you say boring?
Yeah, like she's just kind of like I'm just like ugh. It's like she's playing that whole like traumatized thing, and I'm like, I don't know, it just seems really forced.
Yeah,
Like with her
and
hate,
like
like
very generic of
yeah,
like um I'm sad,
yeah, like you said, like
angry,
it's like
emo.
that kind of like angsty teenager, like, oh yeah, I draw on
Yes.
my walls in like permanent marker, and like my hair is all messy, and like
Yeah.
it's like,
It's very generic.
oh, there we go again with the white fucking horses up on the
Do they
photograph.
ever reference any of that?
At the start, something came up about a white horse on the screen, and Rob Zombie said, "Oh, people don't take the time to read that, and it would have explained a lot." I didn't take the
Oh,
time to read
where?
it again.
No, definitely didn't.
I did. For anyone who has the pleasure of looking at our faces for 2 hours
Yeah.
watching this movie, I did actually have like images and stuff prepared, but now I'm like on the fence of whether to show them or not because if I change scenes right now, the timer will disappear. I think.
Oh, fuck. That's not good. Yeah, because. But I know it's. Yeah, because I guess we are. Just for people that are like, shit, where are we at? And if they say want to, because you could, if you were especially watching us, on your computer, your phone, while you watch the movie, you could pause it at the time, and so I get that would make sense.
I part of me
Fucking
wants to
Loomis
switch.
is like,
Oh, okay. This is something I actually do kind of like. A lot of people shit on this, but I kind of like the way he decided. Right, okay, we're not going to have Loomis like people.
disheveled old doctor.
Yeah, we're going to have him as like probably what would happen to a lot of people, where you'd be like, yeah, I'm a hotshot now.
Yeah, and I like who is that not Malcolm McDowell,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Fucking for people that don't know, he played Alex in Clockwork Orange. And I watched that movie for the first time when I was 14, and I was like, what the fuck am I watching? I love Stanley Kubrick though.
That freaked me out.
I have that on a special edition, like Blu-ray. I really do enjoy Clockwork Orange. So funny. I can hear my dog trying to get in, but
That's
there's all this stuff blocked on the door.
I we need to clip whatever time this is. Like 41 minutes in. Uh, I need to like clip that and put that clip of you right there on TikTok or somewhere. That was hilarious looking because I could actually hear the like banging and stuff, and then you're like,
Charlie, go away, bro.
the dog is up on his hind legs like a human.
Oh my god, my dog is the one of the weirdest dogs I've ever met. I don't know if you can say that, but he has a strange personality. I feel like just like his parents. And the funny thing is, Chelsea wanted to name him Charlie. He's like pushing through the door. Like I put a chair and like a suitcase in front of it, and he's trying to get in desperately. And she wanted to name him Charlie, so I was like, only if I can call him Charlie Manson.
Of course.
The progression in her character and what she looked like in the first film and what she looks like now is so different.
Like
Like in the second film.
here again, like we have another scene where it's all like, she's going into like what is it, like a record store or something. It's all
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I hate the world and all.
Bodega.
Like, give me some like, rock music, man.
Yeah, it is weird.
With the hair and all, I'm just like, it's like someone cosplaying as like,
Fucking traumatized teenager.
yeah, like it's just not, it doesn't feel
It
all that
does. It
natural.
weird. It looks like I feel like I knew a chick that looked just like that growing up.
She's pretty hot now, though. I'll give her that.
Yeah. It's just like okay, would you rather fuck her in the first movie or this movie? It's like girl next door or like emo psychotic goth chick that would probably do more. You know what I mean?
With scars all over her face.
Yeah.
I'd probably take the second one, to be honest.
and for females that listen to this is how men's minds work. So it's just something, and we actually admit it. Most people just cover it up. Yeah, because they made her look really nerdy in the first one, and this
Yeah.
one it's just like,
Yeah.
I swear I knew someone that looked like just like that too. Like one of my buddies, like older brothers, his girlfriend. I had this buddy, and he looked like my buddy's older brother. Him and his girlfriend during high school, and they were older, looked like Sid and Nancy, like 100%. He had like the fucking lock necklace, and
Like,
it's fucking strange.
this is the two of them, like, recently.
Oh yeah, they're fairly attractive.
Danielle Harris looks a bit worse for wear. I think she's had some like work done on her face.
See, you gotta avoid that, women. You think it's gonna save your face, you'll end up looking like fucking Joan Rivers by the end of it, and then they'll murder you for saying that Michelle Obama is a man, which she might be.
Yeah,
I
poor
said that on a live thing on Twitch one time, and then someone's like, "Don't do Michelle like that," and I'm like, "I don't know. Michael's looking like she's got some bulges in her panties."
I love this scene so fucking
I'm
much.
gonna turn it up a bit. Honestly, for Loom, yeah, it just sucks. Why not use? Oh my god, the original kid, because they show his eyes and him talking about it in the first film. That's the disappointing part.
I love this. They start going like, "Do you feel responsible?" And then
Uh,
I love his little monologue. He's like, "Michael Myers is fucking dead."
oh yeah,
I love Malcolm McDowell.
me too. If you, he would be interesting to talk about. He's still alive, right?
Yeah.
I was like, do we wait? Do we wait till he's dead and do a famous dead episode on him?
I always assume I'm like he's either dead or a convicted pedophile, because that's normally anybody I like.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've said this 3 times now. It's like all my fucking people I admired and turning into predators. Shia LaBeouf seemed to found Jesus or something, so good for him. Because I actually like Shia LaBeouf a lot.
I love how he goes on like the sympathy thing, and then when they keep, I think somebody else asks him another question, and you can just see how his expression changes. He starts looking at his publicist, being like, "What the fuck?"
Because I think that, hey, for what it is, it is interesting concept, like how it's showing how like these people affect this subconsciousness of people. Like, you know, I mean, people that write books, you know, like Gail Weathers from
Mm-hmm.
Scream. It's just like they get famous off of the trauma of people. That's really what it is. And it happens in real life all the time. He's fucking dead. And this one, he's like a fucking like drifter. And it's weird that he like now he's not wearing the mask. And it's just like he's changed his whole
I don't like that
like
that
MO.
people refer to that online as hobo Michael.
Okay, yeah.
And like I don't know, like you see, it's hard, right? Because we assumed that he would never do that, but then
Yeah.
also we had this
We don't
conversation
know.
the other day where it's like, we're like, where does he sleep? What does he eat?
Yeah.
Where does he go? Does he like? A lot of people were like, oh, Michael would never drive a car, and like he's been seen in movies driving a car.
Driving yeah, all the
Yeah, and
time.
like Rob Zombie talked about that. He was like, "You will never see me ever do anything with Michael Myers where he drives a car. That will never happen."
But he also said
But
other
then,
shit.
but then you've made him some like weird fucking hobo that doesn't wear a mask
This dog is fucking determined.
to break through that door.
Yeah, it's I just keep seeing the just things shifting. Like, because he can hear me talking, and he's probably like, "What the fuck is going on in there?" And he got in. Get out of here, you
Oh
fuck!
my god, you've got to, you nearly have to leave him now just because.
I know. Just pulled him up by his collar.
Just
He's
leave him
just so
there.
fucking
Oh,
psycho.
I was assuming it was going to be like some giant dog.
Oh, he's a little monster. That's what I call him. This is as big as he'll get. He's a jackapoo.
You should just get another chair and like leave him sitting beside you for all
I
the
should do that
shows.
for some episodes. I don't think he would.
You should get
See,
him a
now he's like
Halloween
harassing.
costume and put him beside you for the Halloween special.
I might. Chelsea loves the idea of dressing him up. I have like a daddy's favorite shirt I put on him. It has a beer. We got him an outfit where it looks like he's a pumpkin. It's like it's hilarious. And I was like, oh, there's hot dog ones. It's fucking funny.
Oh, I like this scene.
Yeah.
This was added, I think, after the fact as well. This wasn't originally in it. The wine scenes were like
Really?
not enough slasher stuff, not enough like killing, so you need to add more.
Weird.
That dude with Um,
Oh, the fatter dude, chubby.
yeah, with the
He looks
shirt.
familiar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and again, he's another character I remember from Sons of Anarchy. He's the
he's
treasurer for
awful.
the club.
He's also in something else
Yeah,
too.
he's in a shitload of stuff. Um,
It's funny. Harvey Weinstein's like, we need more blowjobs. It's like,
and
no, Harvey.
I was listening to Rob Zombie talk about it, and he was like, "What the most bizarre thing?" And he was like, "This sounds crazy considering like how these two movies went and all the stories
Hmm.
that are out there about him." He was like, "The most bizarre thing that happened over my entire experience with all this was on the sequel." He was like, probably in excess of 10 times, I was called to meetings with the Weinsteins, either a lunch or just a general meeting, and they would show me scenes from my first Halloween and tell me, "You see this? You see this, Rob? This is what we need more of. See that
I
style?"
like this.
And he was like, "I know. That's my movie. So I know what it's like." And like they kept doing it. Like they kept going like, "We don't want you to forget like that this is what we want." It's like,
So
okay.
strange, and it got mixed reviews, but obviously did really well in the box office. Where I'm sure this did too, but not as well because people will go see any movie with Michael Myers in it.
Yeah. Yep.
This is a fucking brutal kill. I feel like they just did this just so they could have this brutal kill. Like have the antlers on the front of the
Yeah, just to
car, like
like
some
yeah.
country bumpkin.
Not digging the mask. I do, however, I
I
have been trying for a couple of years to track down the mask from the one from the first movie and the one from this movie, and they're like
you can't find it.
impossible to get. Yeah,
What?
for
Doesn't Trigger Street Studios do it?
for some reason, anything to do with Rob Zombie like gets really hard to get after a while.
I remember when this mask was like out in the
Yeah.
stores, I feel
Yep.
like.
And I was like, oh no, I'll pass on that.
See?
Terrible.
And I was doing this grunting, like aggressively stabbing a grunt.
And he
Now
has
it's
like
like I don't know
weird,
why in the second movie did they do this.
weird, like kind of mini dreadlocked hair that's like all
Yeah,
sticking up all over. But it's just like
it's
even
Rob
that.
Zombie as Michael Myers.
Just see like what he done there. He like ran the knife along the
Yeah,
kid. And I was like, Michael Myers doesn't do that.
no, and it's because it's a character that we know so well. We do because people have analyzed the original John Carpenter films and the stuff that happened after the first one, second one, whatever. Right? People have analyzed this. The horror fans have existed forever, and people
It's
talking about these type of movies and horror movies in general has happened for a long time now.
and like I feel like it's Michael Myers' personality is that he has no personality.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want him to be like Freddy Krueger. I don't want him to be like having all these mannerisms.
No. No, I agree. And that's what he's supposed to be quiet. He's supposed to stalk. That's what he does. And that's what I feel like they took away from this one and Halloween Kills, even they mentioned the new ones.
The
Is
the
the
dialogues
sheriff
and
her father?
no, didn't he? Doesn't he take her in? The
Oh
Danielle
yeah.
Harris is his daughter, but he takes her in
Yeah,
because he
because you think
feels
about it,
sorry
it's
for
so
her.
different than like this is Rob Zombie's whatever vision, you could say. If you think about Halloween 2 from John Carpenter, it was done primarily in a hospital. Like the whole film is in a hospital, which I like that film, but also there's others I like more that people would probably be pissed about
Hmm.
because Halloween 2 is actually rated and critiqued fairly well. But I feel like there's other Halloween films I like more.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I would agree with that.
I mean, it's so funny because we watched so much fucking Michael Myers shit. It's like recently, it's like now I'm analyzing everything.
I I don't know. This is very strange for me because I always found that, and maybe it's what you said with Rob Zombie if he's doing his own material, but like I always found
Yeah,
that he was really good with dialogue, and like some of the
yeah,
dialogue here is like it's god awful. And it's funny
yeah.
because I
No,
seen somebody review the monsters, and they said
oh, you already watched it.
they said I had seen somebody reviewed it on IMDb or whatever it was, and one of the comments was Rob Zombie needs a writing partner, or he
A
needs to go and like
ghostwriter.
he needs to like go and learn how to write dialogue because the dialogue in this movie was terrible. And it makes me think,
Ugh.
when you think about that though, the only time I've ever seen anybody say anything about his ability to write or his dialogue is when he takes on a pre-existing
Yes.
franchise.
And like I don't get this whole thing of what he's going for is seeing his mother. Like he's not Jason. Like why I didn't
Yeah,
no idea why he added this shit. It's fucking weird.
this completely for me just completely goes over my head and misses the mark altogether.
Yes.
And every
And I
time,
think it would have for most Halloween fans. I'm sure a lot of people went into this like, okay, the first one was okay. Like, let's see what happens in the next one. He's gonna do something far different. And then this shit of like his mom looking like the chick from Now the Monsters, because that's what it kind of looks
yeah,
like.
yep.
And this, it's fucking weird, man. I don't understand this and what he's trying to explain. And I would like to look it up because I don't understand it.
He,
Because I'm sure if you looked up what the fuck is with this,
to be honest with you, like from listening to his director's commentary on this movie, which is also free on YouTube for anybody, we can put
that's
it into
actually
the link down
interesting.
below if anybody wants to listen to that. And it is quite interesting, but he kind of doesn't really explain anything.
Really? Does he not
Like,
say this is part of like Sam Hain, like or
like
anything? Because you see the Pumpkin Kid and
he
shit like
like
that. Like,
says little things, but like he just keeps going like, oh, it's hallucinations and it's this and it's that, but he never really explicitly says, like, I would ask, why is there a giant skeleton with a Michael Myers mask on it? What's that in reference to, or why specifically that
she has
visual?
a Charles Manson fucking poster. I just noticed that.
Of
That's
course.
fucking weird. I'm genuinely like I don't remember. I don't remember see like I don't remember this movie as much as I thought I did. And the weird, I'm sure when I first watched this, I was like, oh, weird. I'm just enjoying this for what it is. But when you start to look at it and analyze it, you're like, that's fucking. I don't know. I don't get that.
And every time
And
it happens for me, it takes you out of the.
it does. I'm like, what is
And like
happening?
even this shit here, like where like it shows the sign and then it like fades to him walking through a field.
Sad Michael
It's like
because when he's in that barn thinking and whatever's happening with him, it shows a close up of his face earlier, and he's like just looks like sad little Michael.
it's just like it's not a Lifetime movie. Like please don't like.
Oh, it's fucking so weird. If anyone ends up hearing this a little bit on the audio, which you should once I cut it, but my dog is digging into the carpet. I just don't know why he does that. He's a fucking Jack Russells do that shit, but he's like literally going at it. Can you?
Oh, I couldn't hear him until you said it.
Oh God. What is with this fucking dog?
I don't actually have any ones from this. Um, the only one I probably would have looked for is that Michael Myers is fucking dead thing. I don't know why that
Yeah,
always
he's
stuck in
fucking
my head.
dead.
I love his like English accent when he's like getting pissed off.
Yeah, I know.
I do kind of like though that he's a dickhead. I like that change in
Yeah.
character that he is like a kind of a dickhead because I feel like in the time this is set in, that's probably how he would be.
No, yeah. Yeah, and that's what like and I get like like I've said before, and I'll say it probably numerous other times. I'll enjoy what I got and what we get for cinema sometimes. And yeah, I could have done this. But I don't have the money. I don't have the means. It's not my movie. It's just like sometimes you just gotta let people have artistic purpose. I guess you could say.
And it's really weird because when you listen to him talk about it, it doesn't sound like he got complete creative control. So it's like I don't
Oh,
know
I thought I
whose,
heard that too.
and I'm like, then I don't know whose movie this is. Then like,
If it's
so
not
you're
his, then who created
yeah,
this?
because he's saying, well, it's not my movie, and then the Weinstein's are saying, well, this is Rob's fuck up, and somebody else is saying that, well, that's his problem, and it's like, so nobody made the movie then.
It's Harvey Weinstein's vision. We just don't know. This is like his childhood. He saw horses and his fucking mom.
Are they? re-showing the scene from the first movie with different actors.
Why would you do this?
Is that what that is? You know, where he cuts the
Yeah.
stepdad's throat?
Yeah.
It is, and they're showing it with the other kid.
Why would you do this? And is my fun.
Oh, the way she's
This
having
is
like
yeah. I do not understand
any of that.
this.
Like she's like seeing herself
She's a witch.
with an upside down cross on her head cut into her forehead. And she's like in a coffin. And
This
is
is a
that
fucking weird scene.
and is that Danielle Harris as well that she's seeing with blood coming out of her mouth?
Yeah, I don't. And okay, to me, what he's trying to show is that now she's connected through Michael Myers, so she's having essentially trauma to do with Michael.
Keep your side clean, bitch. Oh, it's just so so cringy and generic.
Like I have to like fucking my dog's just being a fucking nuisance to this fucking episode.
Wow,
I
now
don't know
we've
what
just
his obsession is.
completely
Digging.
like tonally shift. Oh wow.
Oh look, it's
Like,
fucking the monsters.
yeah. Do you know what? That's
It's
probably an Easter egg.
yeah, that he wanted to do it, but I think you're right. How fucking once you start to realize how all over this film is, it's so all over the place.
Now it's completely different again. I don't like we've went a complete tone shift.
The Raggedy Ann. Just fucking.
All right, okay. So
God.
now, that's not actually happening. She's telling her about a dream she's having or vision.
Yeah.
Again, I see the problem when you do this is it's very hard to distinguish between reality and then like
Yeah, you can't carry it this way. And I'm sure if you ever got into it and stuff like that, there's able for you to access it. But even like when I've microdosed, even just a little dosing, you start to see things differently, and I feel like you break things down in a different way because you're like, what was the purpose of this? But if you watch it like drunk, you're like, whatever. Like it's just a weird film.
yeah.
But I genuinely actually do like either microdosing, but even like having a couple of drinks while watching a movie, you get more into it though that way too. I don't remember this like really at all.
I don't know. Her performance is like it's hard for me to like accept.
I know.
And what is
You know
up with that
what?
old
She
chick's
could fix her
face?
life if she just took mushrooms.
Yeah, just microdosed every day. Or just kill yourself.
Look at her weird jacket too. What is your jacket about, chick?
And is that like a weird dreadlock she has at the front?
Yeah.
Or like a like oh god, here we are again. Now back to
Fucking Michael walking. It's like if you played, if I could walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more.
and I guess that he's probably thinking about putting that in there, maybe in reference to Michael doesn't drive vehicles or anything, and
She
this is
just
how he gets
walks
around. And
fucking
it's like
10 days straight.
I get that, but at the same time I also don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's like the same as
Leave
like
it up to the imagination, man.
yeah, like the
This
same
okay.
thing as like I don't want to
Yeah.
watch him, go and take a shit.
Yeah, I know.
Like I know
Okay.
he has to shit, obviously, but I don't
Yeah.
really need the breakdown of like how that happens.
That's a good point because I'm like, and I'm saying this to people like, in if any famous directors that appear in this shit or people that create cinema in general, you don't need to explain everything. What made horror movies good in the fucking the 40s and 50s and 60s is they didn't show and explain everything. That's why it's called a psychological thriller because it plays on your psyche and the way you think about things. You can't explain everything and I feel like audiences need that because they're like, whoa, why? It's just like just enjoy it for what it is. Like the whole point of especially Michael Myers is you don't know why he's so evil and so crazy.
and to
It's trying to
keep on,
understand Jeffrey Dahmer. Like it's the same thing. You
yeah,
can't fucking
yeah,
understand that guy.
and to keep on Rob Zombie's work, uh, I think that's why I love something like House of a Thousand Corpses so much, because
Yeah.
it really frustrates me, and like it pisses me off that I don't have a backstory on all the characters and what went on and how it went on and who's this person and how did
Yeah,
that
and
come to be. But at the same time, it works.
it does work. But at the same time, Jesus, it would be interesting to see where they came from as like kids. But the thing
Hmm.
is, they're just psychotic. Is you don't need to explain it. You know, she looks just like she
Oh,
did as a fucking chick.
yeah,
And obviously, like, the thing is, you know how you can see, like, it sounds fucking, this sounds super weird, but you know, girls like in her teens, and like, you know, you say, oh, I could see what you could look like when you're older. Like, you know, I look the exact same almost. I just have a beard and stuff. Some of I'm emo, maybe different, but there's some people that age and they look the exact close to the same as they did growing up. And then there's people that look the polar opposite. It's like, what happened to you? That's the guy from Three from Hell too.
yep.
The guy at the bar.
Do we get to see?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who plays the warden.
Which I actually really like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Um, does Sherry Moon come out here and do like a pole dance, or is that in the first movie, or am I just making that up in my head?
What does she do? Oh,
Does she come
yeah.
out and
Doesn't
like
that
dance or
happen?
some shit?
Oh, that's in the first one because she's a
Is it?
stripper. And yeah, and Michael's a kid.
That's one of those things when I was young that I would feel like that I would use to make the white stuff come out.
I fucking hate that saying. Fuck Order for bringing that shit up. It's like I say, it came. Billy says crazy shit like that too. It just makes you uncomfortable. But like, I did the funny thing to bring this up, but I have no shame in my game. When I was looking up those Daniel Harris earlier, I fucking just looked up just curiosity Cheryl Moon because I feel like or Sherry Moon. I looked it up. I called her Cheryl the fucking Rob Zombie episode once too, and she's attractive. She's not totally my body type that I'd like, but she's attractive.
Yeah, same, but there's always been something about her for me. I don't know what it
I think
is.
'cause she sees crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like, so the idea
Guys
of
like
like
crazy chicks.
those scenes of her like touching herself with a skeleton, and even Devil's
Yeah,
Rejects where she has like the assless jeans and stuff,
chaps.
and
Yeah.
she's like fucking, I don't know, there's just, maybe it's just because
No,
she
I
looks
get it.
crazy. I'm like, yep, sign me up.
Well, there's plenty of guys out there. I think most guys that they dig crazy chicks. You don't want to date them or marry them.
Yeah,
But
to a degree, like the idea of
mm,
them is great, but then if you're actually with them and they're ruining your life, that's a different story.
yes, like one of those chicks that like good for a fuck, but if you marry her, she burns down your house, fucks your best friend, and throws fucking empty fucking bottles of alcohol at you.
Yep.
All right, I haven't done this yet, and I feel like I should. I'm gonna fucking hit a bong hit. I was waiting to do this.
That guy is
This is a
actually
new one I got. It's a I think it's called tropical banana. It's pretty good.
oh nice.
Are you guys have legal weed there yet?
Nope.
It's
Dude,
so weird to be in Canada where it's just like, man, we can just there's like I live in a small town now because I'd rather be out in the country. And there's a weed store down the street from me. If I go to the next city over, like a bigger city that's almost like a mini Toronto, like it's like quarter the size of Toronto, or whatever. It's fairly small, but there's like 7 or 8 weed shops in the town alone, probably 10 now.
it irks me so much that like we're so behind with a lot of stuff like that.
I know. You know what irks me? Seeing Michael's face. I don't like it at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, it's like the
It
worst.
takes away from his character.
Yeah, it's the worst. And then the idea of him like, and obviously, and I get this point, about him with the long hair and the long beard and stuff, because it's like, well, obviously
Yeah.
he's not going to a fucking, a barber or a
That's what I
hairdresser or
said.
anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And I get that, but at the same time, it's like, ooh, this is fairly grim. So he's Stomping on his head.
I don't know why he chose to specifically make him grunt in this one. He didn't really do it last time, like maybe just a small like little points. And then why is this creepy looking fucking mom? And then him as like, oh, it's a fucking weird movie, man.
Not for
I
me,
feel
to
like
be
they're,
honest with you.
I know, and like essentially we're gonna sound like, is this the pole dance? If she pole dances and this actually happens, what the fuck is wrong with this movie?
Eh, just not like. Oh my god! And it's just I every time I see that kid, I'm like,
It's not the
it's
kid.
yeah.
You're not Michael, younger Michael. Okay,
Yeah,
never
here
mind.
we go.
Yeah, she doesn't do she doesn't do the pole dance. That is from the first one for sure. And it was a long drawn out scene, I feel like, in the first one.
What's he supposed to be doing? He's supposed to be Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh,
Weird.
oh wow, yeah, okay, I get it now.
She's attractive. Oh yeah, fucking here he comes. And I like I said, me and Billy would fucking every time we record at the beginning of the episode, we'd be drinking a lot and just talking shit, and we'd always have horror movies in the background. Every time Billy saw tits, he was like, "Ooh, tits!" And there was somebody that commented or left a review at the beginning of our podcast was like, "They paid more attention to the movie than they do the subject." It's like, it's fucking funny when you see some shit on the screen. You're like, "Whoa,
Uh, and it's hard not. Did he just choke slam him?
oh shit."
Okay, I don't know why she ran straight into the wall, but oh, that's
oh
nice. I
fuck,
like his face. It's like fucking a mashed up fucking pumpkin.
mangled. What are you doing? He doesn't
Oh,
even know what he's doing, man. This is what's wrong though
whoa.
sometimes with like kids watching fucking horror movies is like you see tits and ass, right? And but then there's this bloody gore show going on in the midst of it. And you're like, I don't know if this turns me on. And that's how you created Jeffrey Dahmer.
Like I will say, when I was younger, a lot of times I did never really connect the dots or whatever, but I remember
No, me neither.
specifically with House of a Thousand Corpses where I was like, this is really weird because I'm like getting these tingly feelings, and I probably shouldn't because she's like, whatever, shoving a skeleton hand up her pussy or whatever it is. But I was
Yeah.
like, I kind of like this.
That's why it's interesting about she's like brutal, this bashing. And that's what film like is oh man, that's like it is like he's the most brutal Michael Myers though. Like just smashing this chick's face till it's nothing.
And especially when it's like, it seems to be like when you think it's enough, it's like, no, we're gonna go another
Yeah.
couple of times.
And see, Harvey Weinstein was like, I need spank bank material, okay? I need something brutal, okay, with nudity. But that's what I was saying just quickly about like it is weird because you think about cinema and how it's created, but like as you're a kid and you're watching because you watch things that are taboo essentially because you're not supposed to be doing it. Kids drink young, they smoke weed young, they do drugs young, they smoke cigarettes young because you're not supposed to do it. So there's this urge in society, I feel like, of us wanting to do things that maybe we shouldn't because we're told not to, right? So you're watching these movies. I never associated. I was like, it was boobs to me, and I was like, hey, pause it real quick on VHS, which is crazy because how old I feel now. And then it's like, hey, it's fucking boobs. Just quickly fucking wank it, get what you need, essentially. But it is okay. But there could be people, right, that don't disassociate, I guess, and that think that this is like what turns them on.
Yeah, I just got completely lost there as soon as you said wankus. Oh god, because barely anybody says that. The amount of times I've mentioned that word and people are like, "What?"
Oh yeah, because you guys call each other wankers and shit, or
Yeah,
that's in
yeah,
Britain.
yeah.
See, and what is that supposed to mean?
I don't even know. It's just something I
Because
just
we think
couldn't.
like my that's like jerking off is wanking, but the thing
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
I worked with this older dude and he watched this. Do you know this show? It's a Scottish show, comedy show. It's still game. It's a super famous in your neck of the woods, I guess. But it got over to Canada and people like liked it, and they were called they call each other wanker. And this older dude Bill I knew, fairly funny stoner old like dude in his like 60s, retired now. I worked with him for a bit, and I went to like a work party. He showed up and he had like wanker one on the back of his shirt, and him and this other guy got wanker one and wanker two because they'd be like wanker wanker, are you there wanker, when they'd be driving around forklifts and shit. So, because we just see it as like a joke because of that show, but we hear wanking, it's fucking jerking,
Yeah,
jerking your merkin,
yeah.
your gherkin.
But it's just something like I don't know. I always assume like when I'm over that side of the world, when I say that to somebody, they're like, "What? I've
Yeah,
never heard of it." It's like, "What do you mean jerking off?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
wanker. It's like, what the fuck's that about? This whole fucking movie, because I'm having like think about like cinema and shit, going off on that tangent, and then be like, why can you see his face? It just ruins it.
terrible."
Why is his mom talking to him like he's Jason? That's a fucking ripoff. Jason's mom talked to him and he went fucking crazy, right? And he thought even the second one, it shows him talking to his mother in the Friday the 13th part two. Why did they choose this direction for this film?
Doesn't this fella like do something?
Dahmer in this bitch. He looks familiar. You're the man.
Something happens here.
Oh,
Actually,
that's the
like
guy that. Yo, is this the fucking dude that got from Mad TV? No, it's not. It looks like the dude from Mad TV. They got murdered in the fucking Halloween kills. It's not him though.
doesn't he pull a gun out or some shit?
Like that's like a fake smile, buddy.
Yeah,
She wasn't happy, man. Like Michael Myers walked at her and she hugged him and walked into the knife.
I love how there's a security guard there just off to the left hand side, just literally doing nothing. He's just standing there.
He slowly walks up. Calm down, buddy. Okay.
When you just shoot him in the first place. I fucking hate this so much with this like hobo drifter thing.
I can't get over it. And sorry for people that are listening to just be like, man, I really like this film. It's like, no, look at it as like art, cool, whatever it is, what it is. But there's problems, so many problems.
And right, anyone who's followed me for quite a while, I don't have a problem with like what people consider like trash or shit movies. Like I love
Yeah.
Halloween Resurrection. I love Urban Legend, Valentine.
Oh
I Know What You
yes,
Did
yeah.
Last
Actually,
Summer. I would love to do a commentary at some point on I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, the one that's set on that like tropical island.
you know what's funny? I haven't seen I Know What You Did Last Summer or the second one in so long. I feel like I saw the original or the first one m- more often. I don't even
Did
remember the
you?
fucking second one. I
Did,
remember watching as a kid, but
I love that movie. Did you see that new TV show that Amazon brought out?
I watched some of it. It didn't pull me in at all.
Yeah, no, it got cancelled after that season.
Really, it did.
Yeah,
Me and Chelsea started watching it, and then we're like, it didn't grab the way it should have. Because
yeah, because
I understood where they were going with it,
yeah,
but it was disappointing.
well, you see, it's weird because they didn't have Ben Willis, which is like the bad guy from the originals. So
Yeah.
that wasn't the thing, and it was like the two twins, the twin chick, and like one of them was bad and one of them was good.
You know what?
But
You know what? Kind of ruins. You know what ruins things, and it's for Billy where it's because he just loves he can't watch horror movies, he can't watch anything but comedy. I tell him all these like really good movies to watch and he's like, is it gonna make me laugh? And I'm like, no. And he's like, I'm depressed, man, I need something funny, I'm not gonna watch horror movies to make me more depressed. Like he makes jokes like that, and I'm like, no. Like I've showed him like, oh, you should watch this for Halloween, and he's never seen like Hocus Pocus. I was like, bro, have you never seen Hocus Pocus? I was
You've
like,
never
watch that
seen
shit.
that's like one of my favorite movies to watch at
I just
Halloween.
watched it outside a couple weeks ago,
Dude, I fucking love that movie with
and now it's coming
all
out
my
too, and
heart.
it's probably gonna be horrible.
And that's I was so excited in the build up just because I hadn't seen it yet, and I don't know how shit it's gonna be, but I know when it releases, I'm gonna be sitting there on Disney Plus
Oh
going,
man, there's so many things we should just do commentary on to make content, but like I think it would be funny discussing because it would get the clickbait. But like Hocus Pocus 2, they look fucking bad.
and I've an awful feeling that that's gonna have the same fate as the monsters.
Oh man, they
Uh,
look old.
yeah,
Everyone's so
and I think
old.
they're
It's
gonna.
like,
I really think they're not gonna capture that like '90s vibe. It's gonna be absolutely butchered. I think it's gonna look like I don't know if you've seen a couple of years back they done the Goosebumps movie, which wasn't bad.
oh, it wasn't that bad, but
Yeah,
Jack Black should not play
yeah,
Fat Errol
oh
Stein.
yeah, terrible. But when they done the second movie, it was like even worse. It was like one of those really, really like shitly made like
Oh,
Cartoon
I watched
Network.
it, yeah, and I'm like, "Ugh, what is this
And I
shit?
think Hocus Pocus 2 is going to be like that, where it's going to be like super like commercial, and like you're going to have like the fucking black kid and the Asian kid and the fucking
Yeah,
the gay
I
kid and
know.
the
Well, now
lesbians
they're
and the
making witchcraft cool. It's they're fucking be like, look, we play fucking with like Ouija boards and shit.
and it's just like, oh
It's gonna
no.
be woke culture. That's what Disney does, and it's just like they're okay. Represent people, right? Like I do believe that. Like represent like every walk of life in movies, cool. But every movie doesn't need that, or it fucking escapes what the true vision of some of these films are supposed to be.
And I think isn't I'm not 100% sure because I've tried not to look, but I think in in Hocus Pocus 2, I think it's like is there like three teenage girls and they're like
Yeah, and they summon these ugly, fugly ass fucking witches.
and it's
They're
like
ugly and
but
fugly.
I think they're also like witches or like something. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be cringy and terrible.
Yeah. We should just do like we should do a review on it and just send it out to the world because people will click on it and they'll be like, "Oh man, this is so mean." It's like probably will be.
And again, I want all these things to be good.
Yeah, me too.
Like I don't want to be having the
Don't ruin my
conversation of like,
childhood.
yeah, I don't want to have those things ruined.
And they've ruined tons of my childhood.
Yep.
Rob Zombie ruined my childhood with this. I'm just joking.
Oh, remember this scene? That's
Oh,
fucking
with
Weird
Weird
Al.
Al.
Yeah, and they bring out fucking Loomis, and they're like sitting there.
This is such a weird movie.
This is fucking
I
strange. Why
feel like
is
this
Weird
commentary is
Al
gonna be
here?
so good though. Have you seen Weird Al's tinfoil song?
Mm-hmm.
It's like foil, and then fucking Patton Oswalt rips off his face and he's a reptilian.
This is like this is kind of like a fever dream movie as well. I'll give him that
It's
because
so weird.
and they're leaning a bit too far now into the Loomis being like a dickhead thing.
Yeah, it's weird. And then just like this whole angle of just like him being famous, which also something you could have just mentioned literally
Yeah,
or
you
like
don't need to
showed like a
keep.
TV show with him on it.
Yeah, like they keep doing scenes like this where he's like running around with his publicist, and it's just like, oh, I don't.
Angry Loomis in a suit.
Yeah, it's like I don't need to keep seeing that. Or if I'm gonna see that, right, and you're gonna make me not like him anymore, let me see him get his fucking brains bashed in.
I know because in the okay, at least in John Carpenter's, at least the first two, you kind of like Doctor Loomis. Like you like
Mm-hmm.
he's just trying to figure out why he like Michael ticks
I
and
like
stuff
this
like that.
image
And then
here
this one they made
with the kid when they
oh
showed
yeah
like the side profile.
oh yeah I do like that yeah.
Are you a giant? That kid's so fucking weird.
He looks weird.
Don't talk to strangers. That's Michael Myers.
Are you a giant? Got a giant dick for you, boy. Just a pulls ass wiener.
see, see again, like wait, like I'm looking
That's
at him
Harvey
like
Weinstein's vision.
he has like a duffel bag as well, which also just like upsets me. I
So
don't want
weird.
him to carry luggage.
I know.
Um, And the fact that I don't know if you've noticed, but in the last like two scenes, every time we've gotten a shot of Michael, his clothes have gotten bigger. Like
Yeah,
right
like he's
now,
like some poor ass kid in 1998 trying to fucking wear some hip hop fashion.
yeah, like right now, his pants are like some like crazy, like flary True Religion
I
looking.
was like, the side profile kind of looks like a juggalo. Just some dirtbag kid. I don't know if there's people out there that like people like ICP for what it is, but man, juggalos from what I've seen and met are like some of the most horrible people.
What are these supposed to be doing now, or what's?
They're just
Oh,
like
okay. So I saw
drinking.
like all drunk and all. Oh, I'm so cool. Oh wow, yeah.
In
Fair.
this scene, like what the fuck?
Is this like
There's
an
so
over
many issues
18s
with this
like
fucking movie.
over 18s hocus pocus scene?
I actually really like their costumes though.
See now, when I envision Halloween, I'm like, oh, I want to go to stuff like that.
Yes. I would love for like something to be like this, like a more adult show, and maybe like one day there'll be an opportunity where we can be in one of those shows. Just joking, where we can go to a place like this. But
Oh,
like, yeah,
titties.
just like fucking tits and music. Do you like Rocky Horror Picture Shows as a curiosity?
I love it.
It's fucking so good, dude.
I
I saw it
love it.
live, dude. I saw it live in a theater and I went with my dad and I fucking smoked a huge joint before I went in and I died laughing because I didn't know they plant people inside the audience to like make like recalls and Aaron
Hmm.
shaking his head for all the audience. This is like,
I I I went to see that on Broadway, and I saw it like
oh, that would be
probably
sick.
10 times. Universal Studios during their Halloween Horror Nights. For a couple of years, their live show was the Rocky Horror Picture Show,
That's fucking awesome.
and it was
What?
I remember being there, and I, I think people might assume I wouldn't like that, but I was like,
Yeah.
I remember for a couple of years as well, I was even toying with the idea. I was like, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dress up as fucking that,
Frankenfurter.
yeah. And I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, I don't know if I can pull that off.
No, no. Anton would actually fucking applaud you for trying to attempt to do that because, like, Anton, like, he likes gender bending, is what he calls it, right? Where he'll just dress up as whatever. He doesn't give a fuck. Anton has no fucks given when it comes to that shit. And it's funny because, like, even as a kid, I would like to talk about Rocky Horror Picture Show because you know where I saw it for the first time? My babysitter put it on for me and her kids when I was like 8.
Random.
Yeah, I've said that I don't know if I've ever said this. I feel like I said one episode that I feel like she was grooming fucking kids
You
because
know
she like
what,
would hit
right?
her kids with like spoons and shit on the ass, and my parents didn't like. My grandfather would hit me, but like not like a spoon on the ass type of shit. That's weird.
We're gonna we're gonna watch Rocky Horror Picture Show with all like fucking transvestites and everything, and then I'm gonna whip your ass with a spoon at the same time.
Yes, so weird. I have mentioned that that was like a weird kind of time in my life with this weird babysitter. It's like my mom knew her, and she was like one of those parents at the school. You
Was
know what
she
I mean? And it's
sexy?
just like no, no. She had a haircut similar to the chick from Bride of Frankenstein. Bride
Oh
of
no.
Frankenstein's hair. It was just weird. Okay. Um, she just put that on. She also put on the first time I ever got a boner for anyone that wants to know was the movie Titanic, and she's the one that put the movie on. And when I saw Kate Winslet's fucking tit, and I was like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 or something like that. I was like, and you see half a boob, and my wiener kept going up, and I was pushing it down, and I was like, why is this happening? I literally had to push on myself. I was like, why is this happening? Like I said, no shame.
I
You gonna tell me your first time?
I was actually trying to think.
No, I always remember Titanic, which is so fucking weird. And I've already said on this on Strange Brew podcast, I was like, what I came to the first time, which doesn't need to be mentioned on this. I'll add that in as a sneak peek, where if you look for it, you might be able to find it.
I actually, and this has nothing to do with commentary for this movie, so I don't even know why I'm
Yeah,
saying
it
it. But
doesn't.
um, wow, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say.
It's just like I thought I was stoned, man.
Um,
Just talking about Titanic and
Wow,
Kate
yeah, I'm
Winslet's tit.
completely lost. I
That's
was
so
focusing
funny.
so much on asking you was the babysitter hot that I've completely lost my
No,
trail
it's
of
like
thought.
no.
It had something to do with, oh yeah, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know why, right? But I guess in recent years I had assumed that that's not as like um I suppose adult material. So I remember like around Halloween, I think it was last year. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. We can put that on and there's like all these songs and in my head I'm like, yeah, my 7-year-old son will think this is cool."
Oh,
And
you
then
showed your kid.
yeah, and then it's on for like 20 minutes and she's like looking at me going, "Are you mental?" And I was like, "Yeah, this is probably not." And I'm sitting in the corner of the room going like, "I'm just a sweet transvestite."
Singing it. That is fucking so funny, actually.
I don't know why I
That's
assumed
what
I
I'm
was like, it's
saying.
fine.
Well, that's what people think, right? About a lot of stuff. And like I was young when I was shown that movie. And even though it's very sexualized a lot of things, like when um I need a man, like that whole thing too could make, could revive people's gayness, you could say. The whole movie actually could. But like me just seeing the sneak peek of the little nipples and stuff, even at the end, I was like so young when I saw that. And I was like, why am I watching this with like my babysitter and her kids? Like this is fucking weird. And in retrospect, I thought about that. I was like, that was a strange moment in my life.
Do you know what, right? When you think back to like even, even when we were kids, you wouldn't get away with half of that shit now.
No, no. It is funny and like, oh, this fucking some of his kills are so brutal. It's funny how I think we do commentary on like any other people where you hear these tidbits of fucking stories while we're talking about it. Yep.
So for some reason right now, that went into slow motion. I don't know if everybody's synced up exactly, but I think she might have went into slow motion there for that. Oh god, here we cut now again to fucking Loomis. So we're going back now. He's rewatching himself on a talk show. Ugh. I don't really like his character progression at all.
And how he becomes a dick.
Yeah, it's just like
Sorry for everyone that watched the video. I forgot to feed the dog. It wasn't. I was like, "Oh, did I do that?" I was like, "I don't know. Did I?"
that's why I just kept talking. I figured that there was something going on, so I was like, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna keep
it's like I
talking.
don't remember. Did I? It's just like that. I've got stoned where I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I've done.
The dog is just outside dead. You're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. This happens a lot sometimes when I record. It's just like because I have a cat and a dog, and who knows what they do when I'm not around. That's like I kind of have to let them be. I kind of like this song.
Again, what so what's happening to her now? She's
She's
drunk?
got drugged. Like this whole thing is weird.
And you know
It's
what?
funny. I was just thinking. I was like, it is fairly funny how we went from talking about the film to like seeing Rocky Horror Picture Show, and then fucking talked about that for 10 minutes.
I, I love that movie. Like
I know. I want
always
to talk
will.
about it now.
Like always will.
That's so funny.
I even it was a couple of years ago. It was like maybe the year before COVID happened, like so like 2019, 2018. They like re-released that over here in theaters and they had like the sing-along
Oh,
versions and they
that's
had all these
sick.
different and I was like, "Yep, sign me
We need to
up."
talk about this another time because I can tell you stories when my dad went and saw it when he was younger. See, this whole thing of her hallucinating is fucking weird. Like she's connected. It's like
Yeah, are they having like the same? Because that reminds me of the Danielle Harris storyline thing where she goes mute.
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like not really done that well, even.
No,
And it's just kind of like, okay, they look exactly like those characters.
yeah, they look fairly close, especially I feel like the chick with the short hair, Daniel Harris. That weird pizza. That's for okay. Another time. Another time. I was like, I just want to keep talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show. What it did to me when I was a kid, and I was like, what am I watching? And then, but it is kind of funny like that. This the direction of this movie goes. I feel like is a fucking. You just to see a road and it goes to side, then it goes in a circle again, and then it goes side to side and back to a circle. It's just like this
Yeah, because
winding, weaving road.
it's like fucking I don't know, like 10 different movies altogether. I think actually this must be near the scene where Danielle Harris gets killed, and I think she actually gets killed in her nudie.
Oh, does
'Cause-
she? Oh yeah, her. I think her floppy bits are out. Um, I was gonna say like, isn't there a fucking another movie? I was like, maybe it's a Halloween movie where the chick's like sharing like the killer's consciousness technically, where she's like having visions, and is that not the what's the Halloween 3 or 4?
Number four, I think, and doesn't it? Does it is that character in number five?
Yes, 4 and 5 it is because Halloween 3 is Season of the Witch.
Yeah, so in number
Shit, they like sorry, fucking whoever produced this, because I don't think Rob had enough as probably he could have. They just made it his style of film, actually. But like, you just ripped off a bunch of other shit.
yeah, pretty much.
Like, why she keeps seeing the visions? Are you just trying to put your fucking wife in the movie? Is that why, man? Like, is that why you did this? Because technically, Sherry Moon wouldn't be in the movie if it wasn't for like showing her in visions.
And that yeah, and I actually seen a lot of people on Reddit and stuff talking about that as well. They're like, someone please stop Rob Zombie from molesting all my favorite IPs, and as a favor, we promise to find some role for Sherry Moon in all the movies.
Yeah, I know. Like this one seems like they just put it in there because of her.
Yeah, it's just like why is it even
Like
a
to
thing?
show his mother over and over again, having these visions of your mother, like your Jason, which is a ripoff, and then you have the connection, the psychic connection between two characters, which has been done before, but it's done, I think, in Halloween 3 or 4
Did we not
because
get
they're
to
bloodline, I guess.
see her get killed? No, I thought,
Yeah, that's
or
weird.
maybe it's
Did they
just we
cut it out
see
from
her,
the YouTube version?
or maybe we just see her dead body or something. I thought I remember her being nude, like covered in blood or cuts or some shit.
I saw that on Google. I thought I don't know what film it was from, but it's probably this one. I'm assuming because we know Rob Zombie likes his tatas.
Oh,
That's so cringy, bro. What the fuck?
oh.
Wait, where's my button? I have a fucking because I'm cringy as fuck. Where's that?
That's like the worst.
I hate this fucking thing sometimes.
Cringy ass bitch.
I have this.
Gross. Why are you so cringy?
Just took an automated voice.
That's
typed
probably
that
my
in.
favorite one.
Because we had a review and I was like, we always fuck with the people that give us negative reviews. Like when somebody called me an ableist, I still bring it up today. And then someone said we were like the cringiest podcast ever. And then so I was like, oh, my cringy ass not pronouncing this word properly because it's some Spanish fucking word. And I'm some white guy in Canada.
Are they in the house that she was just killed in?
Yeah, I think so. And who's this new chick? I don't even like. They're just friends that she showed up with at the party.
Yeah, what has she got to do with anything? Or she just
I
like,
know. She
or
just kind
she's
of like
just
got brought in as a friend to be murdered halfway through the film.
again, like, oh, it's so annoying. Like they made this character. Oh, are we going now? Is it? Oh my god,
She looks
I can't
fucking
believe this.
pale. This is her makeup, but
Oh my god, what's going on, Michael? Oh, Wait, was that it?
Oh, now it's gonna show. This is a weird choice.
Okay. Again, he has his hoodie up, which like, why?
It's so funny that they chose her like to play this role to be murdered. It's interesting, but uh
Can we see anything? No.
I know anything.
This is where when I
The
was younger, I would have had like fucking super skills, like carpal tunnel from trying
I
to
know.
like fucking rewind
Yeah.
and like.
I did that because I had 8 Mile on DVD. It had the Superman song video with Eminem and this chick with like just huge fake tits, and I used to like sit there like pause, slow it down, and you'd have the controller with the slow down thing on the DVD.
I remember being like mesmerized when he fucks that chick, that Brittany Murphy chick or whatever it is, in the factory.
Oh yeah, I saw that when I was 10, and
Yeah.
fucking we all dressed up. I took it. It was for my 10th birthday. Mom took me and my friends to um to the theater, and this is the kids I used to like film weird skits with and wanted to be like a filmmaker and stuff. And we all dressed up. This kid Ryan was wearing a fucking green big afro wig, and then we all went in all dressed up, and people are like looking at us like, why the fuck are these kids in this movie?
Yeah, that scene where he's fucking her in the factory, I remember like looking at that, and I think at one point, like I think you see her like her ass cheeks jiggling or something. He grabs them, and I was like, oh my god, wow. It's like how,
Brittany Murphy's not even that great.
it's like how fucking, and I think it was just that she was like trailer trash, like
Yeah.
fucking.
Okay, people have to understand that men will go for whatever. It's just what like we don't know what is good and what is not good. Fucking okay, it's just like weird. This makes me feel weird things.
Is this he's brutalizing her now? This is happening right
Yeah.
now, is it?
Yeah, I don't like how they cut that other scene into.
So okay, so she's crying about her while the other one's getting stabbed to that in the
Yeah.
kitchen, right? That's
By
kind of grim
hippie.
actually, the way there's like
Yeah.
fucking blood all over the tiles and
Oh,
like,
and she's still alive. What the fuck?
yeah, I remember
I didn't
think
notice
I
that.
vaguely remember that and being like, oh, that's fucked up.
Stab wounds. Like thinking about. Okay, just fucking put this in people's minds. Go look up the Charles Manson fucking crime scene photos. But imagine like how when if you listen to the stories of the Manson family, which I'm sure Rob Zombie takes inspiration from some of that shit. I'm sure he does. But when he murders what's her name? Oh, how do I not know this right now? Um Sharon Tate.
Mm-hmm.
That like idea that she was pregnant and there was like fucking whatever 40 or something, whatever, I don't know the number right now, 16 to 40 stab wounds. And then so you can imagine like Linda Kasabian, all these hippies that are just on acid be like fucking just like and just stabbing into someone's flesh, right?
For some reason, I've always been more afraid of the idea of being stabbed than I have by being shot.
Me too. Yeah, it's more brutal.
Yeah, there's like
Like that
something
feeling of
like,
that knife. I've cut my fingers being a chef and shit like that when I used to be a cook, and I've cut my finger, like my thumb, almost off and shit. And that shit was like crazy enough, just me losing like a couple layers of skin. So I couldn't imagine like getting knifed through your stomach and chest and arms.
have
And
you ever seen is it called Three Men One Hammer?
I feel like I have, and
Is that
I
what it's
don't
called?
want to. Yes, where the guys eat. Yeah, I know.
They're like beating his face in.
Yes, I don't know why I've seen that.
Yeah, but they have like
Somebody
a,
sent it to me or somebody showed me it, and I was like, man, what the fuck?
yeah, they have like a, at one point they get like a
It's
screwdriver.
real. Yeah, isn't it
And
real too?
yeah, they're stabbing the screwdriver like into his stomach,
Yeah.
and then they take it out and then they stab it into his eyes, but he's alive during the
Yeah,
whole thing.
yeah. Yeah, I was like, okay, I remember it briefly, but I don't really want to.
There's a I can't remember the name. I can't pronounce the name. It's like the Dyatlov something maniacs. That's the name of the three
Mhm.
guys that like they like fucked up a lot of people. And like
Oh, should we talk about that for a podcast?
that's actually, and it'd be a really, really interesting one, but it would definitely be like one of those like super explicit, like graphic, not that we have to show anything, but the
Put it
content in
on
it would be
Patreon for the video, yeah,
like
maybe.
they done some like wild fucking shit to people over the
And that's
course
what
of.
we've talked about too, and played around with the thing. Obviously, this is a commentary plus a review plus fucking us talking about tons of stuff, which I think would make it fairly entertaining. Uh, but we've talked about this for the Patreon is doing something more graphic, or if there's episodes that we want to show the, I guess, the footage of the crime scenes, that we would put it on Patreon, and you'd pay essentially the little fucking measly $2 or $3 or whatever to see the video aspect of it, if you want to. Essentially, if you're one of those people that is interested in that. Oh man,
I don't know why, for some reason, that image of her on the ground there is like seems so fucked up to me.
it's just all cut up, and it is kind of gross. I just, I don't know. When you're in naked,
Mm.
you're so vulnerable. And then yeah, and it's weird showing actual video footage of her as a kid.
This is quite a well done scene, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Of him thinking about his daughter and how obviously Michael Myers has now fucking brutalized her. This film is it's so everywhere in its tone and a lot of feel of the film. Now this weird like fucking slow music montage type. No, it's not montage, but you know what I mean.
And like, I don't know what there's part of me feels like somewhere deep within there's like a okay-ish movie.
Yeah, but I don't know anymore.
But they
It's like
just put so
watching
many-
Halloween H2O. I feel like I'll never look at it the same again.
I know, yeah.
I'll be like, fucking mask. Oh shit, that mask. Oh shit. Why is it so slow?
That one went from being like one of my favorite movies to rewatch to I may never watch it ever again.
Yeah, I know, but like, I was like, did I dose on that one or not? Like, that's what's changed. Like, Anton's like, don't watch certain shit on mushrooms because it'll change it for you, especially if you do higher doses. I've never seen Meet the Feebles, and he wants to do, and it's a weird like, do you know what Meet the Feebles is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've never seen it, and Anton watched it on mushrooms, and he said him and his buddy were just sitting there curled up on the couch, like in their sweaters, just like with their hood over, like crunched up, because like he's like, I shouldn't have fucking watched this, and then I was like, oh, he's like, we should do a commentary on that since you've never seen it, and just us commentating, oh wow, I've watched it for the first time, and he's like, but you can't do mushrooms. I was like, yeah, but why not, man? It'll make it that character experience. Like, don't do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd watch that while on mushrooms, to be honest. I feel like that's like
He said it's fucked.
yeah, and it's like so out there. I don't.
He said you start to relate to the characters like they were like real people, and they're just puppets. And I was like, oh my god, that sounds fucked, man. Especially because he said it's like one guy's like a Vietnam vet or some shit kind of character. And I was like, he's like, you never see this? It's like, no. I was like, this sounds like fucking kind of fun to watch on mushrooms. Like, don't do it. He's like, just drink. He's like, you get drunk while we commentate, but that's that fucking dude. He's always in random roles in random movies all the time.
I didn't catch his face there. Oh, Sean Whalen is his name. He's in Tree
He's
from
in
Hell.
so many random shit.
He's in Tree from Hell as well. When Baby goes to the
Oh
soda
yeah,
machine,
she
the vending
murders
machine.
him.
Yeah, he has those.
Yeah,
I always remember him because he has those big fucking fucked up gum. His
Yeah,
gum
oh,
to
yeah.
toot ratio is like way off.
yeah.
Um,
I've my no offense to my cousin, but my cousin is married. Just if she ever listens to this, but I doubt it. She's religious. Fucking, she's married one of those dudes. Just like when he smiles, his like gums take up most of his face.
which is always quite scary. That dude as well. If you've ever seen Wes Craven's People Under the Stairs,
I love that fucking movie.
he's in it.
Also, something that would be either interesting doing an Unreal review on or doing a commentary on it. Nobody steal
Mhm.
that shit either. That's mine. Unreal with the fucking like a movie reel. Me and Anton thought of that.
That's good. I like that. See what is this shit like?
I don't understand this. He's like Frankenstein in the background. What is happening? This is by far the weirdest Halloween movie I've ever seen when it comes to Michael Myers' character.
I might go as far as to say that this is the worst Halloween movie.
Yes.
Like
I thought
by
H2O was bad.
by
This
a
is
long
fucking
shot, I think this might
yeah.
be the worst one.
It literally just because there's no direction. And if people be like, "Who fucking Resurrection was worse?" Was it though? It was fucking pretty fun, I'd say.
Yeah, and I feel like at least for what it had a pretty like cohesive storyline. Like, I mean, there
Yeah,
wasn't really much to it, but like I wasn't going like, wait a second now.
I know.
Why are we looking at a white horse and a skeleton with a Michael Myers mask and
Part of
um,
me does want to release this on the main on your main show, and then I'll throw up my YouTube too, because I feel like this is almost worth more people hearing about.
yeah,
Because I
because
think the
it is
commentary's
so
been,
like
I know I think our commentary's been some like people could like, and difference of opinions, but I'm sure people out there, if they really got into the show, might think our commentary is some of the best content we could create.
mm-hmm.
Which I like. I think it's up there. But the thing is, we do so many different things. The fact that like I've had like true crime episodes be my favorite, and then I'm like, oh no, this spooky episode is got to be like my favorite. The shit's hilarious. And then we just did the sex with ghosts, and then fucking Billy's talking about like if some guy in the darkness is jerking you off, would you get hard? I'm like, okay, is this the best one? Like, there's so many where because of the content that we do, this scene is fucking weird. What is
She's like, I
happening?
love you, please. I love you. Michael, please. And so now what's happening? These are lights from outside. Is that a helicopter?
Is it a helicopter? Yeah, is it a helicopter? Man, why is Sherry Moon even in this fucking shit? Like, it's so weird.
Oh wow, it actually is a helicopter. Wow. Why?
She's in the entire film, like so many scenes, and I don't understand why they needed to add that. And who's holding her? You know, like what is that about? Like, okay, he's standing there like looking like, oh shit, the helicopter's here, and then she's struggling on the ground, freaking out, having some weird hallucination vision,
That
and
she's
then
being
it's just
grabbed,
like
but she's not being grabbed.
because it's not a fuck, it's not real. It's just it's him in his head as a kid, but then she's sharing the same vision as him. As Rob Zombie, okay, watching this in when they have to what's that called with the showing or whatever, what's that called when they have to watch everyone like the first people watch it
Like the test screening.
test screening, yeah, I would be like, I'm not putting my fucking name on this, and they probably were
Same.
like, wait,
And
beep beep beep, and it's a fucking ton of money.
and if somehow Rob Zombie
Here's this.
ever heard this or anybody belonged to him or has anything to do with him,
Yeah,
he's probably my number one like goal to interview on my show. So this is by no means like me being like, oh, I'm not one of those people that does that. Like,
no,
oh, Rob Zombie's so terrible. I hate everything he does. He's just bad. Like, that couldn't
no.
be further from the truth. But this one for me is just a fucking complete miss.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that either. I actually like even when we talked about him in the first part,
Mm-hmm.
which who knows if somebody connected even heard that, but like when we talked about Rob Zombie part 1 and we have plans for a part 2 and we wanted to watch this and commentate on it because we both haven't seen it in a while and we've heard that it's not great. The thing is, I don't really think that he had his hands on the wheel
Yeah.
even that much. I feel like there were so many other hands and everyone's trying to drive this car a certain direction. And then he's like in it. I like, can I put my wife in it? Come on. Like
Yeah.
if it's going to be my movie, she's going to be in it. And there's just so many problems, but genuinely the first creation is his own vision. And I actually did enjoy it, especially when I first saw it. I was like, okay, I get it. I like this. This is different. Don't even remember this one, to be honest.
I think I remembered it differently. Like, I remembered it being a little
Me
bit
too.
better than it actually is, but this is like not very good.
I totally forgot about the visions, and I feel like I probably would have watched this with Chelsea, and I probably would have said the same thing of like, what is with this? Because she hears me, I don't shut the fuck up. Like, not even when I didn't do mushrooms. It's just like I just analyze films where I'm like, why? And she's like, I know, and I'm like, but why? It's just like, why does this need to happen?
So what now? Loomis has gone into this hut. What's the purpose of this shack or hut? Why is that significant?
And how he doesn't. Okay, this is so weird.
So
I'm so confused.
what is he even saying?
She needs to come with me. But then
All right, okay, yeah.
this
So
is
she's just like
weird.
flailing around on the ground.
Yeah.
Uh,
If this wasn't a Halloween movie, I'd be like, okay, I get this. This is kind of creepy. It's just because it doesn't make sense with Michael Myers and everything else.
I don't. I just
This
still.
is
I don't.
fucking so weird. This is the weirdest, strangest, you could say, fucking Halloween movie I've ever fucking seen. I'm talking about like Michael Myers Halloween.
It's that strange. It doesn't even seem like a Halloween movie.
No, it doesn't because like, and that
He
scene.
talks,
Oh,
doesn't he? Yeah, he says die. Oh God.
I have so many fucking issues with the ending. So many
Oh
issues.
wow! Even that slow mo, like where he's getting shot, looks terrible. It actually looks like he's just going.
I know it looks really bad, and I can understand the art direction of the ending of if it was some other film. Okay, if it was a totally different film with like a killer and a woman having hallucinations, and who knows, I could understand it to an extent. But this is, I'm sorry, but really bad. It's like, and I like Rob Zombie's other stuff, and if he ever hears this, I do enjoy all your fucking stuff that you've done originally, and I even like enjoy the first one. But this one is like, I know you didn't have any fucking much say on what direction it was going. Other than, can I
Yeah,
put my wife in it?
like. So is this the cut then where she picks up the knife? Because didn't
I've
I say
never, I don't
something
know, because it's the longest cut I've ever seen. I would have saw the stuff that was just generally on like, generally on like fucking Prime and whatever, Netflix and shit.
Is this the cut that I was talking about then where she picks up the knife and they fucking blow her away as well?
What the fuck, man? She looks horrible.
I don't understand what. She's gonna stab Loomis. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it is. So now they've shot her as well. Uh,
This is so fucking weird, man. Like, oh my god, this is like such a, like, there's so many things I want to point out. His fucking taking off the mask, showing him bold
terrible.
face in the light,
Terrible.
horrible. Because you're not supposed to know really, other than the kid shot when he's a kid and he murders his own sister. That's a whole lore. He's a fucking psychopath. Nobody knows why. And and then like he looks like fucking Bob Ross got shot,
Yes,
man.
it's
Homeless
terrible.
Bob Ross.
It's
Like,
terrible,
what
and I didn't
happened to this?
like the whole.
And I,
Like,
oh man.
I get like
Now the Jesus character thing?
yeah, like I get the thing with the hair and the beard and stuff, but I just didn't care for like him wearing the mask with like this big beard sticking out underneath it. It just like
Yeah.
it didn't do anything for
It's not
me.
what Michael Myers is. Like, this is such a weird fucking film. I just pictured like Rob Zombie in like a director's chair being like, okay, like go. Harvey Weinstein has my testicles in a box right now, but
Yeah, you see, and I think that's probably as well now why he strays away as much as possible.
yeah, and I'm sure he does because I'm sure that they told him like, okay, imagine this. Also, you can't blame always the director because it's sometimes the people who cut the fucking film because editors can massively fuck up a director or
And
writer's vision.
and I think as well, I'm nearly sure that I seen something with the two guys who worked on editing this. They were
Yeah.
told to make 5, I think, different versions.
Why? What is the purpose? This is not Clue.
I have no idea what that's for. And
Clue's
then
actually
and then I'm assuming like the Weinsteins would decide
yeah.
which
What's the
version.
What was the final cut then? What
I
was the
actually
ending?
can't, at this point, I can't even fucking remember. So this must be the director's cut.
But even the one that I saw on Prime, yeah, I think I still saw her at the ending that she's in the asylum. Or does she? I don't actually remember. But weird. This is
Oh, this shit again with the
I
fucking
don't get the White
horse.
Horse thing and Sherry Moon just being in it just because she's Rob Zombie's wife.
But
This is fucking
what is this supposed to signify is what I don't understand. Like, I can understand people having visions or hallucinations if they make sense, but I don't know what like, what has this got to do with anything?
Rob Zombie had a dream about a horse and he's like, put it in the film.
But
Or it was like
that's
Weinstein or something.
literally what he says. He said, I was driving to set one day and we saw a white horse galloping through a field, and I thought that was an amazing visual.
It says written and directed by Rob Zombie, okay? If he actually wrote it, right? Um when did he write this? Did he write it a week before?
See, I think
And
as
it's also
well, I don't know how it works, but if you sign on as like a writer director,
Harvey Weinstein. So weird to know Harvey Weinstein's name now.
do you like? I don't think you can take that back, can you? Like, if you sign a
No,
contract that you're gonna write and
no.
direct.
Even if they alter it and change it in numerous ways, I don't think once you've signed like a contract that it doesn't matter because it's essentially, you know what I mean?
Bill Moseley had a pretty hefty role, I think, in this movie, and he quit after 18 hours on set. The
No
first
way,
day,
really?
the first day he just walked. He was like, "Rob, I can't do this. I can't work like this. This is just, I don't know
So
what
it was
this is,
scattered
but
and
I'm out of here."
Halloween theme by John Carpenter. That's about it though. And the weird ending with this showing all the dead bodies.
It's strange, yeah, because
Uh,
they're even showing ones from the first movie. Like, they showed the kid that he beat the shit out of with the stick.
it's just like, look at all Michael Myers' victims. This is fucking weird, man. Just because it's in the side, we should look at doing. I might like want to, if, even if it's shit. It's got 3.1 million views. The Halloween 3 2019
Sounds good
CNT
to
film.
me. Also,
That sounds
uh, final little terrible fact about this movie. Right now, when the credits are rolling, is the only
rated.
time that you hear the theme song for the entire movie.
That's true.
Yeah,
We
it
didn't hear
doesn't.
the entire time. So
It
why would they
yeah.
put it at the end of this just to be like, oh, it is a Halloween movie, even though it is like the farthest away from anything to do with Halloween and Michael Myers because it's so sorry bad.
Apparently, they couldn't find the right place to put it in. So
Look how
just
shitty that mask is, man. I don't know.
oh, it's
I get
just
you'd have to say
awful.
that it's corroded and like it's over time,
But you know
but
what though? It doesn't. It doesn't. My biggest issue is
it
it doesn't
looks
even. Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's corroded though. It just looks like somebody made it look like that.
like a Frankenstein.
It's
And
like
that's why I feel like they referenced it in the film.
look at him in the left hand photograph there. Like, it
Yeah.
just looks like some homeless guy with a Michael Myers mask.
And it's just like I just don't know why. There's so many things to pick at where it's just like, yo, if you really wanted, I could do 3 hours on this, but
And
I think we should bring it to a close now.
and
But it's just
also,
like
why are his
so
things brown?
yeah, his suit's brown.
Was it always like that?
I feel like that's what his choice was, right? It was like brown in the first one, maybe. But it's like Michael Myers has always been known for that fucking blue jumpsuit. I literally have one in my closet.
Same. I have one right over there.
I have the original mask, but I would like, and it's in a box where eventually it's gonna get corroded and look like Rob Zombie's one. It's like underneath my bed, and like a thing. But the thing is, I always wanted the 2018 version. I actually thought that mask looked well for a worn mask,
Mm-hmm.
worn out mask that you would just find in the bottom of a fucking underneath the floorboard or something like that. But I just like this idea that like it's just like I don't like it at all. I don't like the hair sticking out. I don't like the big beard. I don't like that you can see his face in half the fucking movie.
Uh,
It's sad that like it could have been better, man. I feel like I could make
yeah.
something better. If just give me $1 million, I'll fucking figure it out.
None of that made any sense to me, to be honest with you. And I hate saying that in a way, but because I love Michael Myers and I love Rob Zombie, but and I think it has a lot to do with what you said. I don't really feel like that was his movie at all, and it was
Oh,
probably just like you said. There's probably like 50 people with their hand on the wheel, and it's trying to pull
yeah.
in
And
every direction.
You could see that with Wes Craven films too. It's just like just putting Wes Craven's name on the film gets it recognition.
Yeah.
And there were some movies I'm like, nah, you didn't fucking do this. You were just like, check, cool. That's like you're looking at your check and then checking them like, that's fine. Sure, that's good. And then you just gotta watch it after I already signed this contract. They're already paying me a lot of money.
That
And it's
that Carnival of Souls
I'm excited to
movie.
do that.
Yeah, that movie that we talked about on Wes Craven Presents. So apparently he had basically nothing to do with that other than
It's
just
like
putting his name on it as like a
side thing.
producer.
Yeah.
But he
It's
had
like
like
you
no
said,
dealings with it at all.
it's like somebody producing a podcast and not even knowing who they are, what they do, and then
Hmm.
me being like it by Said Productions. It's
Yep.
so strange because like I could see that being done with tons of stuff because the idea that these either actors or names in general, not just actors, directors, whatever, it sells. And then people go see it and then they get disappointed with that director, actor, whatever it might be. And then you're like, well, it's just because they didn't have any creative vision. They were just in it because it will make money.
Eli
All
Roth
about
has kind of made a career on that somehow, even though he hasn't really had any like huge hits. But somehow
mm.
he's managed to make a career for himself out of putting like Eli Roth Presents.
I honestly have can't even think of many Eli Roth movies, but I like the shows he produces or he talks about horror movies.
Yeah, yeah, they're very good. He
Like
actually turned that into a podcast as well.
I'd be actually interested. Like, and I look at his like resume and I'm like, weird, haven't seen that. Or weird, haven't seen that. Will I watch it? Probably not. Like, it's not like Guillermo del Toro or some of these. I
Hmm.
never can pronounce like the guy's name. like that. I actually enjoy a lot of his films and they're super fucking weird, but they're his. You can tell that they're his creation.
Yeah, I mean, look,
You tell
uh,
this is kind of Rob Zombies, but not really.
yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's so out there. It's definitely for me the worst Halloween movie. I think.
You know how I see it? I see it where you know you can replicate like a Rob Zombie film was filmed a certain way. It's set up a certain way. They already have that and you could teach it within film schools and stuff like that,
Hmm.
right? Like that they really want okay, this is how this director does this is how this director does this. And by this time you would have that resume of how he shoots a film. To me he sat there in the chair probably miserable and I'm not I don't know that's my guess is he just putting his name on it and he who knows if he was like he obviously was there most of the time and stuff like that but as they started getting muddy I'm sure he stepped back a little bit and was like okay well my name's already on this and so you have people also doing the cinematography within the movie because they have like whatever the semi director who like the executive producer stuff like that people pointing at what to do next you know what I mean and I feel
Yeah,
like then it gets lost.
yeah, and again I don't know, but
Neither do I.
I can't help but feel like that at some point, surely to God, he had to have been sitting there going, okay, after the shit that I had with the first one, I told him I was never doing this again. And
I
then
did it
and yeah,
universe.
and then they got like 4 or 5 scripts from other people, and they were having so many issues that an executive reached out to him, and they were like, please, just have a look at the script, maybe rewrite it, maybe do something with it, and maybe you can come back and direct this movie.
That's a good point.
And then he was like, yeah, do you know what? Okay, yeah, let me. And I think they sold him on. They told him, well, you've kind of created your own Halloween universe now, so this next movie will have no rules, so you can just
Yeah,
be you within
and
your
then
Michael Myers universe. And he went, okay, yeah, fine. I wonder at what point during filming was he sitting there going, I can't believe that this is happening again, but worse.
and I'm sure that did happen too, because like that's actually a really good point. It's like he could have wrote it a certain way, right? And they could have filmed all these scenes and all these different endings, apparently, and then the editor could have just made it what fucking Harvey Weinstein or
Yeah,
Brett, whatever the
yeah,
wanted, um, and then it turned into this shit this fucking bag of shit because I'm sure if like he was if I believe that if Rob Zombie and if he's was I'm sorry but if he was actually in the cutting room or doing the cutting floor as they call it right that he would they would have been different I feel like
and I would imagine that like it's quite easy for the Weinsteins and stuff to, go into the editing room and go, okay, this is how you're gonna make this movie look.
Yeah.
And like what, like as an editor, like what are you gonna do? Go no, like you're just gonna do
Yeah, no,
whatever he tells you to do.
I think yeah, people do not recognize that as much as they should. Is that editing does drastic things to a film? Okay, this is a great example. Justice
Hmm.
League, Joss Whedon's version compared to fucking Zack Snyder's version, which is literally a million times better
Yep.
in every way.
And again, I know people say, "Oh my god, yeah, but it's like 4 hours long." It's
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 worth it.
it's it's the superior movie by far.
So you've seen both, right?
Hmm.
I would like. There's so many people that are amped about like Snyder and stuff like that. To end it on that, it is. It's just to me that's the same example. But I thoroughly enjoy that movie, and it did not seem like 4 hours. I probably watched that movie 4, 5 times, probably 4 times, 5 times,
Same.
actually probably 5 times. And it's a 4 hour movie. It's just that good,
Yep.
and people all over the world have acknowledged that it's that good.
And
So
that's
to
why
end it
I
on,
don't know. It's just it bothers me that this shit has to happen, and I think what's worse is a lot of times then directors or whatever didn't get the chance to have their director's cut or whatever. Um, yeah, I the, there was very very little redeeming qualities in this, to be totally honest with you. I don't think there was very much. A handful of the kill scenes I did enjoy. It gave me
yeah,
vibes of the first Halloween movie that Rob done, but outside of that, man, it was just awful.
yeah, it is. It was fun to
Yeah, yeah,
discuss and talk
yeah,
about for
it
sure. Like I
was.
thought this is actually really good content for what we got into. Uh, but it has so many problems that I could talk for another hour about how many problems it does have. But I'm
Hmm.
sure you could hear us throughout the film critiquing these problems. And I think this is what you get right when things get rushed. We've seen it with other horror movies, tons of other movies in general. But you rush something and try to bring it to market because they want to make money off it, and then either sometimes this can happen. It comes a cult following where it doesn't do well in the box office, but does well later on. But not with this. Okay, I'm sure it made decent money in the box office, and then people came out and be like, "What was all the white horse shit about? And why is
Yeah,
his wife in the entire movie?"
yeah. And why is she in every movie?
Yeah, like it doesn't need to, and it's his vision. If it's his money and his vision, I guess you could say, or his creation, like Three from Hell and all that sequel that would spawn from that, like House of Thousand Corpses and Lords of Salem, stuff like that. It's his idea, his vision, right? When you're taking something else and then you're just adding to your wife, it seems a little strange.
Yeah, outside of her, I will say I kind of commend him on how loyal he seems to be to the crew that he works with, because
Yeah,
he
they're always
like, yeah, like he always brings like back the same actors and make sure they've got roles. And and I suppose for a lot of these guys, like, you do a movie like House of a Thousand Corpses, and at the time, like, it doesn't really, it's not a huge,
registered.
it's not a huge movie at the time, and nobody really cares. And to see him put those same actors in all those movies up till, they're getting roles in a Halloween movie, like, it's nothing to,
Yeah.
to turn your back on. And I do kind of like that he
No,
does
so do
that.
I. It's like Adam Sandler bringing all his fucking
Yeah.
chucklehead friends in
Yep.
every single fucking film,
Yep.
and then it's just like, and then you get used to it, where you're
Mm,
like, oh, this is what it is, right? I'm gonna see David Spade and fucking that weird
yeah.
guy that has fucking um, receding hairline. That it's like,
um I can't think of his
okay.
name, but yeah, I know.
Dante is always in it, like even Grandma's Boy and all these films where you
Hmm.
see these guys just like which it's and you see that in Rob Zombie's films too, which is it's a good point because he has carried these people with him and he obviously, hey, I'm doing this film. Do you want to be in it? Type of shit. And I agree. I do commend him on that. I think that's a good place to bring it to a close though.
Hmm.
I feel like this was actually even better than I thought it was. At least the commentary, but not the movie. But I thought we covered a lot of bases, and this interests me to get into a movie that we actually both like really much, or a more well known movie. This is actually really well known, but you know what I mean? That like
Yeah.
something that is
Yeah.
not a train wreck of a film.
Yeah. I feel like this probably listening to this along with the movie would actually make it more enjoyable. So if they're doing any re-releases or 4K Blu-ray releases of this movie, hit us up and you can have the license to this podcast for free, just to get
Yeah.
our business relationship going.
If you put it on the fucking
Yeah,
DVD.
if you put it on the special features. For anyone who's made it this far, look, it's the same as always. On social media, Instagram is probably where I'm most active under First Class Horror. And then for everything else podcast related, it's www.classhorrorcast.com. What about
Yeah.
you, Tom?
You know where to find us, www.strangerpodcast.com. There's a lot coming. You know what? If you don't enjoy listening to us and you get sick of us, you're going to get a lot more sick of us. But if you genuinely enjoy what we're trying to do with the crossovers of Stranger Podcast and Class Horrorcast, you're going to really enjoy a lot of the stuff that's coming, because this probably will not come to an end anytime soon. And there's probably going to be tons of stuff that
Mm-hmm.
we'll be working on. So be prepared for that, because there'll be crazier commentaries, crazier movies, darker movies, interesting episodes about true crime, paranormal stuff like that on our side too. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in the works. So watch out for it.
Yep. I guess then closing rating for this movie out of 10. I'm gonna go right. Hold that for a sec. Hold that thought and have a think. I'm gonna give it 3 out of 10.
Wow, that was
That-
more than I was.
Yeah,
going to.
and that's being generous.
Oh my god.
That's
Okay,
only on the merit of the couple of kill scenes I enjoy. I like the hospital scene, the
that's a
scene
good
with the
point.
dudes hitting the cow and stuff. Those few scenes I like. Other than that, terrible.
The car crashes into the cow. Um,
And the end credits were really good.
when you said what would you rate it, my brain instantly went to 2.5. As soon as you said it, I was like, man. And I said there's all problems with a lot of movies once you start to realize it and you pay attention to it, as you'll hear in the Halloween H2O episode commentary. But oh man, there's so many problems. So many
Yeah.
problems. And even just a directional course to a film where you have the arch and the climactic
Mm-hmm.
scenes, or so many issues, as like even a writer would see.
Yeah, it doesn't even seem like that there's any like act structure. It's just like
No.
whatever.
Yeah.
For anybody who has made it to the very end, make sure to reach out to us on socials and let us know what you think of the movie or what you think about our thoughts on the movie.
Yeah, I do think we should do that. It's a good way to end it, and there's a lot more coming. But make sure to stay strange. Tune into both of our shows, because there's different stuff coming on different sides.
Peace.
See ya. Your peace always always like peace.